It's the 4th of July, and what better way to celebrate than with America's grand game? We're in San Diego, and so is Manny. That's right, he's back.
Showtime!
Today on Fox Saturday Baseball, we'll cover Manny's return from every possible angle. We've got other divisional matchups as well. Mets, Phillies. There's no love loss in this NL East showdown in the city of brotherly love. While in Mini, the Twins' M&M boys hope to bash the first-place Tigers. So fire up the grill and watch out for the fireworks. Fox Saturday Baseball starts right now.
Welcome to the Pepsi pregame show on Fox. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. It's America's birthday today, but last night the Dodgers got a present.
Batting third, number 99, left fielder Manny Ramirez.
That's right, the return of Manny Ramirez from his 50-game suspension. First plate appearance, he takes a walk on the wild side. Now, Joe Torre knows that his batter will definitely return to peak form when you hear the bat and the ball come together as one. He didn't hear that sound last night. A ground out to second, a ground out to short, and his final plate appearance is a shallow fly to center. 0 for 3 on the night for Ramirez before being pulled in the 6th. Dodgers win it 6-3, and Manny, how'd it go?
I was kind of nervous, haven't played like in 2 months, but I didn't put a lot of things on my mind. I know it was going to be crazy, but thanks to the fans to LA, they made it so easy for me to go and play.
Manny back at it again this afternoon, hitting third, and no matter which game you're getting, everybody in the country will get to see Manny's first at bat. And with that, we welcome you to Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Pepsi. Baseball coming your way from either San Diego, Minnesota, or Philadelphia. But obviously the big news continues to be Manny Ramirez. And earlier today we caught up with his skipper, Joe Torre, to talk to him about the circus that swirls around number 99.
Players hear things, everything. And, and other players, usually the more experienced guys can shut things out, especially guys like Manny who, he's constantly having people yell at him, whether it's good, bad, or whatever. You really have to find a way to go to another place. There's no question.
And we welcome in Ken Rosenthal from FoxSports.com. Let's put the mental side aside with Manny. Physically, where's he at right now?
Chris, Joe Torre told me that Manny is not yet ready to play 9 innings. I also spoke with Dodgers hitting coach Don Mattingly, and he said the biggest issue with Manny right now is his timing. He just was a little rushed last night. Manny is one of the game's great guest hitters, but a scout who was here last night said Manny is not yet comfortable enough to look for certain pitches in certain locations.
All right, Kenny, thank you very much. Let's stop talking Manny for a second. Let's talk Lou Gehrig, because 70 years ago today, July 4th, 1939, he uttered baseball's most famous words. Yes, it was an ailing Gehrig with Babe Ruth by his side that was out there at Yankee Stadium. His famous 277-word speech will be played at all 15 games today.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Only 3 men who were on the field that day are still alive, and we caught up with one, 94-year-old Joe DeGangi, who was the Yankees bullpen catcher at the time.
Lou's speech was the way he put it over. He put his heart and soul in all the speech he said. And everybody that I remember had tears in their eyes because Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia presented him with the New York trophy. And he even had tears in his eyes. That's what they all told me when I saw them.
You'll hear the words of Lou Gehrig no matter which game you're getting today. Plus, you'll see Manny's first at bat. Happy birthday, America. Baseball from San Diego, Philly, or Minnesota is next on Fox.
brings you the Los Angeles Dodgers against the San Diego Padres. And hi, everyone. Dick Stockton along with Eric Karros, and a happy July 4th to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us today. And as you know, the big story here, the return of Manny Ramirez coming back after his 50-game suspension. In the lineup last night, was 0 for 3 with a walk, and he is in the lineup again. The Dodgers won last night 6-3. So, Eric, what does this all mean as far as the Dodgers are concerned?
Well, remember, the Dodgers have the best record in all of Major League Baseball, and now Manny Ramirez comes back, one of the best right-handed hitters the game has ever seen. Now, will the physical production be there immediately? No, of course not. But the physical presence, it will be here. Now, you talk about midseason acquisitions. The Dodgers got the jump. They may have the one that has the most impact in all of baseball.
And they've got a lefty, Randy Wolf, on the mound today. Josh Geer, a right-hander for the Padres. Independence Day here in San Diego. Starting lineup for the Dodgers brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Rafael Furcal at shortstop. Russell Martin behind the plate. Manny Ramirez hitting third, and Andre Ethier cleanup in right field. Casey Blake will be at third base. James Loney will be at first. Matt Kemp in center field. Juan Castro will start for Orlando Hudson at second base, and Randy Wolf on the mound. So we're set to go, and now it's time for the Budweiser opening pitch. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. So Josh Geer, who has an unorthodox delivery, facing the switch-hitting Rafael Furcal. And this game is underway, and the first pitch is in for a strike.
Well, Rafael Furcal, a nice night last night. And this is a guy that, you talk about the return of Manny Ramirez. This is a guy that can really get going, too.
And it's in there for Furcal, strike 0-2. And you talk about Furcal, 4 for 5. Last night, his first 4-hit game this year. He's had 20 in his career. So his first 4-hit game of the season. And for Call, who has been trying to break out of the doldrums lately, the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Russell Martin second and Ramirez in the hole, and a foul fly ball hit out of play, and the count remains 1-2. So Josh Geer, who is 1-3 on the year, making his 13th start of the year, has allowed 18 home runs, and that's been his big problem. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a line drive to right field, and Tony Gwynn, moving a couple of steps, makes the catch for out number 1. And here is the sprint pitcher profile for Josh Geer.
Well, Josh Geer has to keep the ball in the ballpark. He gives up a lot of home runs. In 12 starts, has given up 18 home runs. Fastball movement. I mean, that's what he does. He gets a lot of movement on all of his pitches. As you watch, they will sink, they will dive. Doesn't have a lot of velocity, but needs the movement.
Here's Russell Martin, who had 2 RBIs last night after only 1 run driven in the previous 29. So he's looking to get out of the run production doldrums. He takes ball 1 outside.
Well, and this is a guy that they were counting on this year, at least to get some steady offense, and he just has not been able to get on track.
And the fastball in for the strike, and it's 1-1.
Now the guy's working all the time. He's tireless effort, spending a lot of time with hitting coach Don Mattingly.
And it grounded to shortstop. Everett Cabrera making the play, and there's 2 down, and Manny coming up. And welcome our audiences around the country. Here's the reaction as Manny Ramirez comes up for the first time. There was a mixed reaction last night when he returned after the 50-game suspension. 2 down, nobody on base, and the first pitch a strike to Manny Ramirez. He walked his first time up and then was retired the next 3 times he came to the plate, and then was replaced in the outfield by Juan Pierre. And a foul ball out of play.
Well, interesting his return here in San Diego, as you mentioned, as we could hear. A lot of mixed reaction, a lot of fans cheering, especially those that came down from L.A. You have the booing as well. The real test, though, when he goes to New York after the Dodgers leave San Diego.
Yesterday was New Haven. Broadway is going to be this week. Yeah. And that's the way it looks as the pitch is outside. So Manny Ramirez coming back to the Dodgers, and as Joe Torre said, a great influence in the locker room when he joined the club last year. Hits a drive deep to left field, and this one is out of here. Manny Ramirez with a home run. It did not take him long. His 7th home run of the year. And Manny Ramirez with the fireworks on the 4th of July on his first at-bat, giving the Dodgers a 1-0 lead.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, first at-bat today, only his 5th plate appearance.
And there's the home run ball caught by a Dodger fan out in the left field stands. 1-0. You couldn't have scripted this any better if you're a Dodgers supporter.
Well, again, and he creates energy. I mean, not only production, but energy. The fans are excited. The people in the clubhouse, the dugout, sitting next to general manager Ned Coletti up here. He's excited. This is unbelievable. It really is.
And there's Rick Honeycutt, the Dodger pitching coach. Here it is again. And his return couldn't come at a better time for the Dodgers, who really have been struggling for runs as of late. Chris Rose is in left field, charting the reaction of the fans. Chris, what did you see?
Saw that a Dodger fan was holding the ball. That's because George here was kind enough to give it to a lifelong Dodger fan. George, you are a Padre fan, correct?
Correct.
Show us the ball. Why didn't you throw it back?
It's worth a lot of money.
That, on America's birthday, what's better than a little capitalism right there? All right, George, thank you very much. Enjoy. Hang on to that thing.
All right, Chris. Ethier limes to Cabrera at shortstop, and Manny takes left field. Let's listen for a reaction.
Prior had hit a home run against him earlier in the season. But for Manny, this is also a great way for him to exhale because you know he wants to do well now.
Randy Wolf on the mound for the Dodgers. Strike one to Everett Cabrera, the good prospect at shortstop. Switch hitter hitting .293 on the season, and a shot foul past the third base coach Glenn Hoffman. So quiet now, but we had the excitement in the top of the first inning as the Dodgers taking a 1-0 lead on Manny Ramirez's 7th home run of the season. Here is Cabrera, who will be followed by David Eckstein and Adrian Gonzalez. We'll run down the Padres lineup in a moment. And the pitch taken inside, and it's 2 balls, or make it 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Padres have lost 3 in a row, 6 of their last 9, and they have had a rough year. They're 11 games under 500 at 4th in the NL West, 16.5 behind the front-running Dodgers. And a defensive swing fouled off to the right.
Well, that was a defensive swing, almost underwater, and that's that late break that Randy Wolf has, bearing in on the right-handed hitter. Cabrera just fouling it away.
And this is the 18th start for Randy Wolf, and his story is no decision. That has been his plight this year. Fastball misses inside as Randy Wolf has had a no decision in 11 of 17 starts this year. And now you're looking at the sprint pitcher profile for Randy Wolf.
As you mentioned, I mean, 11 of his last 17 starts, no decision. Although the Dodgers have won 8 of those. And then he's got to stay away from Adrian Gonzalez with the Padres. I mean, he is the offense for this Padre ball club. You see the big first baseman there on deck. You stay away from him, let the other guys try to beat you.
So Randy Wolf, who was born in Canoga Park, California, lives in Woodland Hills. Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cabrera. And a one-hopper back to the mound. And he is retired as Cabrera, 1 away in the bottom of the first inning. And right now, here is our Taco Bell starting lineup. Think outside the bun. David Eckstein will be coming up now, hitting second in the lineup at second base. Adrian Gonzalez at first base today. And Scott Hairston will be in center field batting cleanup. Kevin Kuzmanoff will be at third base. Chase Headley in left field. Henry Blanco behind the plate. Tony Gwynn in right field. And, of course, Josh Geer on the mound for the Padres. If you saw the lowest batting average in the major leagues. Eckstein on the first pitch lifts a fly ball to left field on the warning track, and Manny makes the catch for out number 2.
Well, you mentioned this offense, Dick, not a very proficient offense, and really a non-existent offense outside of this man coming to the plate.
Here is Adrian Gonzalez, who is second in the National League with 24 home runs. Second behind Albert Pujols. He has knocked in 50 runs on the year. And we're going to be talking a lot about the All-Star game, which you'll see exclusively on Fox Tuesday night, July 14th. And you're looking at a player who very well could be an All-Star. Now, there's a big battle going on amongst first basemen in the National League. Maybe Ken Rosenthal will address that. Here is the 1-0 pitch, and it's in for the strike. Ken, what about first base for the National League All-Stars? We'll hear from Ken in a second. And a ball off the fist, hit back to the mound, off balance throw, and it's thrown off of Gonzalez. And Gonzalez will remain at first base. So he got jammed and hit it back to the mound. Randy Wolf off to his left. And the Padres have a base runner.
Well, as you mentioned, Gonzalez gets sawed off. Now, Randy Wolf heading towards first base. Ball gets out of his glove. He goes to retrieve it, then tries to make the hurried throw to first base. Gonzalez hustling all the way. Here you get a better look at it. See, just out of the glove. He gets back, still got some time, tries to make the quick throw. Up the line, unable. But good job of backing up by Juan Castro, leaving Gonzalez at first base.
And an error charge to Randy Wolf. So a runner at first base with 2 out. And here is Scott Hairston. And the first pitch, a fastball for a strike. Ken Rosenthal, what about the All-Star battle at first base?
Well, Dick, as you mentioned, it is fierce. Adrian Gonzalez has to be on the team. Albert Pujols obviously has to be on the team. And Prince Fielder as well. But that would leave out Ryan Howard. It would leave out Todd Helton and the red-hot Derek Lee. And Howard in particular is a really tough decision because remember, his manager, Charlie Manuel, is the manager of the NL team, and Howard is a native of St. Louis.
Boy, that's a dilemma, isn't it? I think so, Ken, without question. By the way, television coverage will begin with the Pepsi All-Star pregame show at 8 p.m. on Fox on Tuesday, July 14th, and the rosters, 32 of the 33, will be announced tomorrow. So the All-Star game coming your way Tuesday, July 14th from St. Louis. Manny Ramirez, I believe, dropped to 7th in the balloting for outfielders as Hairston fouls it off. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
No, there's Manny. You know, I just want to get back to the point you're talking about, a competition at first base. There is no competition for first base. There's a competition who is going to back up Albert Pujols at first base. Albert Pujols, the best player in the game right now.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Scott Hairston. Breaking pitch fouled away. Well, you can't argue with what Albert Pujols has done, and we have talked about this in our games, that arguably maybe the best right-handed hitter of all time when you look at what he has done in his career. This is what Albert has done this season.
Well, he just hit his 4th grand slam last night, tied Stan Musial for grand slams by a Cardinal in a season. But those numbers are just this year, and the numbers we've seen are right up there with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig all time.
Gonzalez, the runner at first by virtue of an error as Hairston lifts it out to left center field, and Manny is there to make the catch. Ramirez, 2 putouts, 1 error by the Dodgers, and the Padres lead 1. We've completed 1-0, the Dodgers. Pepsi is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. By Sprint, the Now Network. And by Avidart. Casey Blake leading off for the Dodgers in the top of the second inning against Josh Geer. And the first pitch in there for a strike. Blake hitting .284, has 11 homers and 48 runs batted in. Second behind Andre Ethier in homers on the Dodgers. The count 1-1. There you see the alignment in the outfield. Round to the left on Blake. Fouls this off to the right. And there you see Geer, 86-mile-per-hour fastball, and you're not going to get it up much higher than that, are you?
No, you're going to have to get a lot of movement, and that's what he does. He just throws that fastball about 85, 86 miles an hour, has a change, a little bit of a slider, but really relies on trying to deceive the hitter with the movement.
Geer is 26 years old from Forney, Texas. Born in Dallas and pitched at Rice University in Houston. So Texas has been his base. As the pitch is outside, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Blake. He'll be followed by James Loney and Matt Kemp. Dodgers leading 1-0. Manny Ramirez with a home run with 2 out in the first inning. And there's a shot up the middle and a base hit for Casey Blake. So Blake, who has been struggling, was 1 for 18 in his last 6 games. And he's on with a base hit to start the second inning. As in all MLB games on Fox, you can follow the game on Twitter. In the All-Star game, our broadcasters will tweet throughout the broadcast. Ask a question, follow the answers as you watch the game. So log on to twitter.com/MLB on Fox. James Loney, the batter, as Manny awaits his next at-bat. Loney hitting .278. We mentioned the Dodgers have won 8 of 11 against the Padres this year. And there's a pitch for a ball. The team split the first 4 games of the season here in San Diego, but then the Dodgers went to town. They won 5 out of 6 at Dodger Stadium, and now 3 out of 5. And Joe Torre's team, as Eric mentioned at the outset, 51-29, the best record of the major leagues. Like 22 games over 500. Their best was 23 over. So they're right on the brink of that. And there goes the runner. And on the hit and run, the ball snared nicely by Cabrera. The throw to first in time for the double play. And because of the hit and run in Cabrera, moving over to cover second base. And let's see whether Blake is shaken up at second. He gets off on his own power and comes off. But a nifty double play here.
Well, and that ball bounces off the glove of Geer, and as you mentioned, Cabrera going to second base because Blake was running, able to make the nice play, throws to first base. Gonzalez, a nice job. But look at that. See, he's already up the middle. Just gets there in time and makes the acrobatic step over the sliding in Blake to get the runner at first.
And Gonzalez made a good play on the high throw and coming down to get it. So you won't see a more spectacular double play. And 1-6-3. So it was Geer, Cabrera, and Gonzalez. So there are 2 down to Matt Kemp, and the first pitch is taken for a ball. Kemp tied for 4th in stolen bases, so the Dodgers would like to see him get on. He's batting 7th in the order, hitting .303 on the year, and a weak swing fouled back, and it's 1-1.
Well, Kemp has had a real nice year. You see, Casey Blake may have got something in his eye. You see trainer Stan Conti attending to him. They got a little dirt in there. Matt Kemp has had a real nice season so far.
Well, the Dodgers have really had to, Eric, rely on balance up and down the lineup when Manny was out with the suspension. You know, as far as singles are concerned, no one has gotten more singles in the major leagues than the LA Dodgers, and they're relying on base hits and a good catch on the line drive by Chase Headley. So 1 hit, none left in the middle of the second. 1-0 LA. By Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. Dodgers leading 1-0 on Manny Ramirez home run, and the Padres batting in the bottom of the second inning. Kevin Kuzminoff, the third baseman, with 10 homers and 40 runs batted in. One of the many youngsters that Bud Black has been using in hopes that the team, some of these players, can develop over time as they gain their identity and try to get back to where they were a couple of years ago. 0-1 the count to Kuzminoff, will be followed by Chase Headley and Henry Blanco. Slow curve, and that just missed. And the count now 1-1 strike.
Well, you talk about this Padre club getting back to where they were a few years ago. Obviously, Jake Peavy on the disabled list, Chris Young out. You know, the pitching staff been decimated so far.
And a pop foul. Chasing it is James Loney out of play. And, of course, you notice that players on both teams wearing red hats, and that is for the July 4th weekend, honoring the veterans. And it's a special day in many instances. The umpires as well wearing red caps. Glad you could be with us on Independence Day. Another foul ball out of play. And it's still 1-2 strikes to Kuzminoff.
Well, Kuzminoff having a nice year this year. 10 home runs. You know, is he the answer at third base? Well, the Padres right now obviously not in any kind of contention, but they are playing for jobs, playing for next year's spot on the roster.
And swing and a miss, strikeout, and Kuzminoff goes down to out number 1 here in the bottom of the second.
It looks like he's going to burn a flag, and Rick Monday runs and takes it away from him. And so Monday, I think a guy was going to set fire to the American flag. Can you imagine that? And Monday, when he realized what he was going to do, raced over and took the flag away from him. And Rick will get an ovation, and properly so.
And he has gotten more than an ovation, because it's been one of the great remembrances and classics of baseball. April 25th, 1976. He was playing for the Chicago Cubs at that time, but he, of course, played a good deal of his career with the Dodgers, and now a broadcaster with the LA Dodgers, with us in the booth to talk about a great heroic moment. And I know that Rick doesn't mind talking about that as Headley takes inside for a ball. What was your instinct when you saw that, Rick, at first?
Well, Dick, it's one of those strange things. I feel like I'm at home with you and a former Dodger with Herrick. What they were trying to do was wrong. In my mind, in 1976, I still deem it wrong in what they were trying to do, because that flag represents a lot of rights and freedoms that we all have in this country of ours. And we currently have people all over this country right now protecting those rights and freedoms. And, boy, we say hello to them, to their families, and those who have served past and present.
Strikeout of Headley, and there are 2 down. But, you know, you have to have the instinct that what went into your head at that moment to say, I'm going to go get that flag?
Only that they were using baseball as the forum to make some type of a demonstration. But they were making the demonstration with something that we pause on this day and a few others during the year to reflect upon why we are the greatest country. And it's because we have come together.
A fly ball down the right field line.
Where is that flag today?
I have that flag. In fact, my wife Barbara Lee and I, fortunately, have been able to take that flag across the country and raising a lot of funds for our military charities, for Fisher House and Walter Reed. And it means more maybe to our family and those that are touched. My son-in-law is at Fort Bragg and serving. He's made a couple of different tours, and to all of our servicemen and women, thank you.
And, of course, we thank you. And the Hall of Fame has voted your act one of the 100 classic moments in the history of the game, which is huge.
Well, I think baseball has always stood up for what is right and to recognize those that are the true heroes, and those are the people that have dedicated their lives to make this a better country.
Pitch is inside to Henry Blanco, and the count 1-2 strikes with 2 out here in the second.
Dick, the nice thing is that baseball has been such a wonderful form to present, I think, the good parts of what we are about. And we work hard at doing that. And Eric had on the same theme, is that when he entered the game, it was a pretty good game. When he left, he helped make it better.
A broken bat base hit over the leap of Furcal, and the big turn made by Blanco. So the Padres have their first hit of the game, and it comes with 2 out in the second.
You know, Rick, you get a chance to see the Dodgers day in and day out. Now with the return of Manny, you guys are going to New York. What are some of the challenges this team will face in the upcoming weeks?
I think initially, as they're looking for an injury, I think initially it showed the character. I mean, first of all, they had the perfect guy as the manager. This is not the first rodeo for Joe Torre. He's been through it in the past. He had a good message to his ball club. Don't wait for Manny Ramirez to rejoin the club. Make your own step forwards, and they have done that. And last night they happened to win the first game back. So it wasn't like, okay, here he is, and now he's going to carry us.
There's Henry Blanco, by the way, came up in the Dodger organization, and they're trying to walk off an injury at first base.
Dick, Eric brings up a good point, because while it was a friendly crowd last night, and a lot of people drove down from Los Angeles, it is not going to be that way Sunday night. After tomorrow's game, the Dodgers will jet to New York. Dick, you know all about New York. It is going to be a little bit more of a challenge in facing the Mets in their new ballpark on Tuesday night. And I would imagine, you can't drive cross country to watch your ball club. And the Dodgers are going to know that they will be the team on the road Tuesday.
Lazier Alfonso will come into the game replacing Blanco as a pinch runner at first base. And you bring up a good point. And people are going to believe what they want to believe about where this fits in with the morals of baseball and so on and so forth. But for Manny Ramirez, it's interesting that the personality of Manny does work for him.
And I think we saw 2 different personalities yesterday. A much different personality in the pregame press conference versus finally he was able to exhale in the postgame press conference. But he also did something too. He apologized to everyone. And Manny Ramirez has been very embarrassed by what has taken place. You had a shot there, Juan Pierre, which Juan Pierre has proven what this game is about, what teammates are about. He didn't become a thorn under the saddle. He went out and did his job.
So Alfonso is the pinch runner, and here is Tony Gwynn, who takes a breaking ball. Talking to Joe Torre last night, I said, "What, did you say anything to Juan Pierre?" He says, I looked at him and I said, "Do we need to talk?" And Juan Pierre said, "No, we don't." He understood. He knew what the situation was, and he's not going to be, disappearing. He won't be an invisible man.
No, and Joe did something else too that kind of went out. People didn't see it. After Wednesday's game in Los Angeles, he met briefly in the locker room with his ball club. He said, "Look, Ramirez is going to rejoin us. That'll be Friday in San Diego. Between now and then, we have to all make sure we get in the right frame of mind as ourselves as a team."
2 balls and a strike to Gwynn.
Well, it will be interesting to see how things develop in New York. And if you're a fellow player, it's almost something that, not that you're looking forward to, but you're going to see all the attention. You're going to see all the, the environment's going to be different. There's going to be a lot going on. And as long as you're not the subject, because Manny's going to be the subject, it's going to be somewhat entertaining for these guys.
Well, you've seen it before when you were playing. Is that the more you let distractions, as you see the Dodgers really lead up to the All-Star break, what distraction will it be? Will they allow it to be?
Fly ball down the left field line. Kuzmanov, or I should say the Dodgers, Blake giving chase, and it is out of play. So the count 3-2.
Well, Casey Blake hustling over there. He loses his footing a bit. And that's one of the things when you play in an opposing team's ballpark, you're not quite as familiar with all the surroundings, so you're a bit more tentative sometimes. Casey Blake, though, in that situation, just losing his footing.
It was amazing last night seeing the circus, but it's never been for one player. It's always been, say, at a World Series where they're coming out to see everybody.
Exactly. And the Dodgers, I think, as a team, were waiting anxiously to see how it was going to affect them.
How do you present it to the Dodger fans, the return of Manny? Do you give an opinion? Do you walk the line? You just state that, hey, Manny's out there batting third?
Well, people are not tuned in to listen to my opinion. Manny Ramirez violated what has been agreed to in collective bargaining. So he served that suspension, and that was the penalty. The penalty is over. He's back playing.
Well, anyway, Randy Wolf strikes out the side. 1 hit and 1 left. Rick Monday, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
By Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. Dick Stockton along with Eric Karros. Ken Rosenthal is here, Chris Rose as well, and we have heard from both of them. In a 1-0 game, the Dodgers lead as Dodgers bat in the top of the third inning. Juan Castro, the number 8 hitter, stepping up, followed by the pitcher Randy Wolf, and then the top of the order Rafael Furcal. Dodger run coming on Manny Ramirez home run into the left field seats, and a first pitch base hit by Castro, and that'll be the 3rd hit of the game for the Dodgers. Starts them off here in the 3rd.
Well, and as we've talked about, this Dodger ball club is not about power. It's about getting guys on base. It's about having good at bats. It's about moving guys over. Now, Manny hit the home run today, but again, we're also looking at a couple other singles.
And here's Randy Wolf, who helped his own cause against the Colorado Rockies on Monday with a 2-run single. He has 3 hits and 30 at-bats, but his 5 RBIs lead the club. And coming in from third is Kuzminoff looking for the bunt, and it is a fair ball, and it is a double play. The ball just stayed fair, and Alfonso, who's just gone in behind the plate, started the double play, the 2nd of the game for.
Well, he was quick to come out of the box, and you see makes a good strong throw. Cabrera real quick in getting out of the second base area. You see Alfonso, he gets it before it can roll foul. Now he makes a throw down there. Cabrera real quick in going to catch the ball, get out of the way of the base runner, and turn that ball over to Gonzalez for a double play.
And that was one of those times that the bunt just wasn't bunted far enough to make it work. So a 2-6-3 double play, 2nd double play in the first 3 innings for the Padres. So 2 down, the bases are clear to Rafael Furcal. Lined out to Tony Gwynn in right, takes a fastball for a strike. So Furcal 0 for 1. Came into the game hitting 250. 250 left-handed and 250 hitting from the right side. Off-speed pitch missing. 1-1.
But again, he's a guy that they feel like he has a lot of room for improvement this year.
In the air to left field. Chase Headley making the play, and that'll do it. 1 hit, none left. 2.5 innings gone by.
$1939, to me, he was the epitome of a well-developed ball player. And to have something like that happen to him, it would touch me to my heart. I almost wanted to cry because I never thought it would happen to him at all.
the bottom of the third inning, and the Dodgers leading 1-0. And Josh Geer, the Padres pitcher, leading off and swinging at the first pitch and hitting a drive to left center field, and it's going to go past Matt Kemp all the way to the screen. Geer will hold up at second with a double. So here is Josh Geer, who now is 3 for 3 against the Dodgers this year, including an RBI. Came in 3 for 19.
Well, and Josh Geer out thinking Randy Wolf. I say that. Randy Wolf thinking, well, that's the pitcher up there. I'm just going to throw a ball right down the middle. He's probably taking it, trying to get some pitches going here. Well, Geer thinking, hey, you know what? He's throwing one right down the middle. It's my best chance. It's a double.
So the Padres now with their second hit. They've had a base runner in each of the first 3 innings, and Everett Cabrera, the leadoff batter, who was out on a comebacker in the first inning. So the Dodgers lead 1-0. The tying run is in scoring position. Squaring the bunt and taking a ball, 1-0. Well, today is the 70th anniversary of Lou Gehrig's famous farewell speech. 4, and that was Lou Gehrig's number, ALS, and that was the dreaded disease that took his life. And the famous speech where he said, I'm the luckiest man on the face of the earth. And throughout Major League Baseball today, honoring the speech of Lou Gehrig, the 70th anniversary of his moving and dramatic comments at Yankee Stadium. Two balls and no strikes with nobody out. 1-0. The tying run is at second. Again, squaring the bunt and back to the mound. Wolf looks at third, and his only play is to first in time. Geer will go to third. And there's one out. Here is Lou Gehrig from that day in that dramatic speech.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
And who will forget those words? And all players, managers, umpires, and on-field personnel wearing the 4 ALS patch on their uniform chest today. Here's David Eckstein. Fastball foul back on the screen. So here in San Diego, the Dodgers lead 1-0, but the tying run is at third base. And this is Joe DeGangi, who was the Yankee bullpen catcher from 1933 through 1941, and he was present at Yankee Stadium when Lou Gehrig made that memorable speech. And the pitch outside to Eckstein, and the count is 1-1.
Well, Eckstein in this situation just trying to make contact. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. The Dodger infield playing halfway, which is essentially like playing all the way in with a normal runner at third. You've got the pitcher at third base, doesn't run as well.
1-1 pitch, and there's a drive hit to center field. It's a base hit. Going back to third was Geer, and he will come in and score. So no surprise for David Eckstein, who came into the game third best in the National League, hitting .385 with runners in scoring position. And Eckstein with an RBI single ties the game at 1-1.
Well, Eckstein up there just trying to make contact. Gets a pitch on the outer half of the plate. He drives it to right center. Now watch Geer at third base. We get a chance. He heads back to third. And you're wondering, whoa, what's he doing? That's absolutely the right thing to do. The ball's in the air. He's going back because if Kemp does catch it, he can tag. Kemp would have probably had to dive for that ball. It bounces in. He easily scores from third.
And here is Adrian Gonzalez, and he takes down low, ball 1. So Gonzalez, the big hitter, with 24 homers and 50 runs batted in. This is his 287th consecutive game, the longest active streak in the major leagues. And the count 2-0 to Gonzalez, the big bat. And they've been walking him lately because the hitters behind Gonzalez have not produced. The two hitters behind him in the lineup have been 0 for 22. So he's tied for first in walks with Albert Pujols. Takes a big cut and misses. And it's 2-1.
Well, and again, when you're an opposing team, there's no reason to let this man beat you. I mean, if other guys, whether it's Hairston or Kuzmanov, you know, those are guys right now, they aren't having the type of year Gonzalez is having. Make them beat you. Make them get the big base hit.
1 out, the 2-1 pitch and a big swing and a miss. And the count 2-2. So Gonzalez has been patient to draw walks as of late, but he's swinging for the downs on those last 2 pitches. Randy Wolf trying to get out of this 3rd inning after the Padres tied the score. The Dodgers took a 1-0 lead on Manny Ramirez, home run in the 1st. And not much of a lead there for Eckstein, who has just 2 stolen bases on the year. Manny Ramirez will be coming up second for the Dodgers. And it's hit out to left field. Manny playing deep will take it on a hop for a base hit. Manny Ramirez in left field was playing very deep against the left-handed hitting Gonzalez, and he's got the base hit. Eckstein going to second. So with 1 out, runners at first and second. Let's check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Dick, Adrian Gonzalez and Randy Wolf were teammates at the start of last season. Remember, Wolf was a Padre before he got traded to the Astros, and they often would discuss pitching patterns. Wolf would say, Adrian, I don't know why left-handers ever throw you curveballs over the plate. And this year they've been kind of in a running commentary about just what Wolf will throw him. Adrian Gonzalez often bets Chris Young on what Wolf is going to throw him. And obviously right there, Adrian Gonzalez might have guessed right.
He did. So Gonzalez is on. That's the 3rd hit here in this 3rd inning for San Diego.
Well, and I think what's frustrating for Randy Wolf, he gives up the double to the pitcher, the very first hitter. That ball, though it was a base hit, Randy Wolf made a nice pitch and jammed Gonzalez. But those are 2 base hits this inning that Randy Wolf would like to have back.
Scott Hairston fly to Ramirez in left field his first time up, and the breaking ball is in for the strike. Runners at first and second, and 1 out. As David Eckstein with a base hit driving in Josh Geer, who led off the inning with a double against Randy Wolf. And the pitch is outside. Wolf, by the way, making his 3rd start against the Padres this year. He lost to San Diego on April the 2nd and had no decision early in May. 12th career start against the Padres, 5-4 is his career mark. A ball and a strike with 1 out to Hairston. Hitting cleanup today, gets a good pitch to hit. Fastball fouled on the screen. 1-2.
I think, as you mentioned earlier, a 6-game hitting streak for Hairston. He's been swinging the bat well, made a nice play defensively the other night, robbed a home run. But again, he's one of these guys right now playing for the Padres that, you know, although a division title doesn't seem like a possibility, he's playing for next season already, playing for that job in the outfield.
Hairston hitting .359 with runners in scoring position. We saw Eckstein, who was 3rd in the league, deliver with the runner at 3rd base. Bluffed to second base. No one was covered. Let's check in again with Ken.
Dick, Scott Hairston is perhaps the first Padre who is going to be traded. They could send any number of players to other teams in the weeks ahead. And Hairston, because he's cheap, $1.25 million, and because he's a right-handed hitter with power, is attracting considerable interest. Look for the Phillies, Mets, or Giants to get him at some point soon.
All right, Ken, thank you. 9 for 22 has been Hairston with 2 homers, 4 doubles, and a stolen base. And he does have good numbers. Gonzalez at first and Eckstein at second with 1 away here in the 3rd. The 2-2 pitch, just getting a piece of it, is Hairston, and stays alive. As Kuzmanov, the on-deck hitter, hitter retrieving the ball. Last night, you said the Dodgers brought down busloads of fans. And you saw as many royal blue jerseys and caps as you did San Diego shirts.
Well, you saw a lot of the dreadlocks. You saw the Dodger jerseys, the Ramirez, the hats. You know, there usually is a strong Dodger presence here, but even more so last night.
Breaking ball misses outside, and the count is full. So Wolf is one pitch away from loading the bases. Kuzminoff on deck. Padres have lost 6 of the last 7 against the Dodgers. Padres have tied it up here in the 3rd inning. Here's the 3-2 pitch and a foul back. Actually, San Diego, after May, was .500. They were 25-25, and then they were right in it. Now the Dodgers had a very impressive April and May, but the .500 mark for Bud Black not bad at all. And then they dropped 5 out of 6 right after that, and have really been in an uphill climb since then. They have lost 6 of their last 9, including the current 3-game losing streak. The pitch, strike 3 on the inside corner as Hairston started down to first base, and he is the second out here in the 3rd inning.
Well, and this is what Randy Wolf does. He works you away, and as a hitter, you're looking for the outside part of the plate, and then comes inside with either the slider, the fastball, one of those 2 pitches, and basically freezes the hitter. Again, that's changing the hitter's eyesight. Looking away, freeze him in.
So here's Kuzminoff, who is 1 for his last 20 and has struck out 8 times in those at-bats. The last base hit he got was a week ago. 2 on and 2 out, and the pitch inside hits him, and Kuzminoff will go down to first base, and that will load him up.
Again, Randy Wolf trying to get in on the hands of Kevin Kuzminoff. This ball just continues to bear in. Kuzminoff unable to get out of the way, hits him in the midsection. You look at the last 3 hitters. Gonzalez, he went in on him. He fought the ball off to left field for a base hit. He freezes Hairston on an inside fastball to strike him out, and then goes inside to Kuzminoff, but a bit too far inside.
Rick Honeycutt, pitching coach, out to the mound to talk to Wolf, who has struggled in this game.
Well, again, I think Wolf, you know, this entire inning is just probably kicking himself for letting the pitcher come up and lead off with a double. You see that? Yankees and Angels next week on Fox. You and I will be there. Looking forward to that. Yankees are playing some good baseball.
Yes, they are.
Angels, too. Yep.
Both are locked in tough division battles as the pitch is outside to Chase Headley. Ball 1. Right now, the Yankees trailing the Boston Red Sox by 2 games coming into today's action in the AL East, and the Angels and the Texas Rangers both tied for the lead in the AL West. That'll be next week on Fox. 1-0 the count to Headley, who struck out swinging his last time up, and another pitch up and away. 2-0. Bases are loaded with 2 down here in the 3rd inning. Alfonso, who came into the game behind the plate when he pinch ran for Henry Blanco, who came out with an injury in the 2nd inning, would be next, and a big cut. And it's 2-1.
Well, Kuzminoff looking for a fastball there. He got the fastball, bit out of the zone a bit. Pulled off of it, missed it. But again, he's still ahead in the count. He can look for a pitch that he can drive. Doesn't have to give in to Wolf.
And that's a strike. Catches the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eckstein, the runner at 3rd. Adrian Gonzalez at 2nd. And Kevin Kuzminoff is at 1st. 1 run in for San Diego here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. All tied 1-1. Fouled out of play, so we'll do it again. Randy Wolf has struck out 4 batters thus far. Struck out the side last inning, but not in order, as Blanco got a base hit into short left field and then had to come out of the game. Here's the 2-2. And strike 3, and Wolf with a fastball. His 5th strikeout ends it with the bases loaded. The Padres tie it up, but Manny Ramirez will be coming up second as we go to the 4th inning here in San Diego. Zantac. Heartburn, attack it. Zantac. And by Chevy. We have completed 3 innings and the score tied 1-1, and Manny Ramirez, who homered in his first at-bat, will be hitting second here in the 4th inning. Russell Martin will lead off, and then comes Manny Ramirez. So after going 0 for 3 with a walk, returning from the 50-game suspension for violating the Major League ban against banned substances. And want to welcome all of you viewers for Manny Ramirez's next at-bat. And if you were with us for his first, he hit a line drive home run into the right field stands, and he's coming up now. Russell Martin with a fly ball, and Tony Gwynn makes the catch in fair territory for out number 1. And here comes Manny Ramirez. So again, after going 0 for 3 and drawing a walk last night, here's Manny. Manny Ramirez's home run against Josh Gere was his second against him in his career. He is 3 for 4 with 2 homers and a double, and going after it on the first pitch, Eric.
Well, Manny very aggressive right here. We take a look at the home run he hit in the first inning. This is a pitch that just does not sink. Manny stays back. He knows he got it.
So Manny Ramirez in a 1-1 game with 1 out here in the 4th inning, and takes the ball 1-1, the count to Ramirez. We talked about how the Dodgers own the best record in the major leagues at 51-29. And they were 29-21 with Manny on suspension. There's a ball, 2-1.
Well, you know, in 2 days, he's taking care of a lot of business. And I say that yesterday he addressed the media, impromptu media session, answered questions the best he could. And then today he hits the home run. So now he goes to New York. He can say, hey, look it, I had my media session. I dealt with the media. He hit his home run today. He's feeling pretty good about himself. Now it's just going out to play baseball.
Well, he'll continue to be asked about the specifics about why he was suspended, and it seems like he will continue to say, I'm only going to talk about baseball.
Well, I think you're right, and at least now he can say, hey, look, I had my media session in San Diego. I addressed the things.
And the pitch is in tight to Ramirez. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. He admitted that he was nervous before he came to the plate for the first time. He admitted he made a mistake, and he said it's going to take some time since I'm really ready to go, but you wouldn't know it by the first inning when he lined a home run. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Gear, and a sharp ball handled on 1 hop by Cabrera. The 1-hop throw in time. Everett Cabrera, and that got Manny Ramirez arguing with Sam Holbrook, the first base umpire, as Manny thought he had beaten the throw. And Joe Torre out of the dugout to argue with Holbrook as well.
Manny hits this ball hard. Cabrera, a great play, and then shows the strong arm. Manny hustling all the way down. He thinks he beats it. Right there it shows Gonzalez has the ball before he touches the bag. Manny not excited, obviously, about the call. That's a frustration issue, too. As hard as he hit the ball right there, you figure, hey, man, I deserve a hit for that.
Well, you saw Mariano Duncan, the first base coach, get him away in a hurry. So there are 2 down to Andre Ethier, who fouls off the pitch for a strike.
I think the replay, it shows that, you know, he's out. You see Eckstein, he's got his arm up, you know, he's like, yeah.
Eckstein called him out.
Yeah, he called him out.
0-1 to Ethier, who lined out to Cabrera, and there's sharply hit to the right of David Eckstein. The quick toss in time. I'll tell you, these Padres making some nifty plays in the infield, particularly Cabrera. 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Padres tied 1-1 into the bottom of the fourth inning in the bottom third of the San Diego batting order. Eliezer Alfonso, who came in for Henry Blanco, who left the game with a strained left hamstring. And so Alfonso now behind the plate and leading off. This is his first at bat. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Will be followed by Tony Gwynn and then Josh Gear. Fastball in on the fist. So Randy Wolf has had to face a lot of batters in the first 3 innings, Eric.
Yeah, you know, this is an interesting inning for me. Last inning, he threw 27 pitches, really had to labor, then goes in. The Dodger offense doesn't do anything. He's right back out on the mound.
Ground ball hit to shortstop for Call. Makes the play. Alfonso's retired. 1 away, and right now, Chris Rose with a game break.
That's right, presented by DirecTV, and Adam Dunn is 300th career homer, and at bat number 4145, only Babe Ruth, Mark McGwire, Ralph Kiner, and Harmon Killebrew got there faster. But Dunn wasn't done. I don't know how many career singles he's got, but this one helps plate him. Nationals win at 5-3 over the Braves. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV. Dick?
All right, thank you very much, Chris. So that's quite a race going on with the Phillies, who managed to hang on with the lead, and the Mets, Florida Marlins right there, the Braves. And Tony Gwynn, the hitter, and the count to him, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, a lot of divisions wide open, the Central, the East. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say the Dodgers, unless they have a serious drop-off, win this division.
In the air to short left field. Coming on in is Manny Ramirez, who makes the catch for out number 2. You're right about that, but how about the San Francisco Giants? And a lot of people may not realize that if you say, well, who has the second best record in the National League right now, it would be the Giants, who came into today's action trailing the Dodgers by 7.5 games. But during this week, they came to within 5 games of the loss column of the Dodgers.
Well, and they'll be there all year as long as they stay healthy, especially with that pitching staff. And I would make the argument that that would be the one team I would not want to face in a postseason series, that Giant ball club. But Bruce Bochy doing a great job of managing that team.
Who formerly managed the San Diego Padres in the pop-up. James Loney, looking up in the sun, makes the catch in foul territory. 1-2-3 inning for Randy Wolf, his best outing so far in the game. Oh, and here is today's Gillette Trivia question. Who are the only 3 players to have 4 or more All-Star Game home runs in their career? Now, that is not a hint. That's a great statue of the great Tony Gwynn, who's the son playing right field for the Padres today. But don't draw any conclusions by looking at that.
Tony not known for the home run hitting.
Here's Casey Blake, and the count to Blake. 1 ball and 1 strike. Single to center field and erased on a double play back in the 2nd inning. 1-1 the score here in the top of the 5th inning. And so far with the count 2-1, Josh Geer making a good account of himself here in his start.
Yeah, he has thrown well. I mean, outside of the 1 pitch to Manny, he's kept the Dodger hitters off balance, moved the ball around.
Giving up 18 home runs on the year, the highest home run to inning pitch ratio among all major league starters. Gets the fastball over for the strike. 3-2 now to Blake, followed by James Loney and Matt Kemp. Chopper to shortstop. Cabrera, having a brilliant game at short for the Padres, makes the routine play for the first out.
Yeah, that's one of the things the Padres are going to have to do the remainder of the season, is just be able to catch the ball. They can't give away outs because offensively they don't really have the ability to score a multitude of runs. The way they've caught the ball today, got to be excited.
And there's Adrian Gonzalez, the big slugger for the Padres, who has reached base twice. Here's James Loney, and the first pitch is in for a strike. And we talked about, with the absence of Ramirez, how the Dodgers have had good balance up and down their starting lineup. They didn't have much power, but they managed to take advantage of their opportunities, and a big reason for that was Juan Pierre's installation as a leadoff hitter. Ken Rosenthal, Pierre, not going to be a forgotten man.
No, Dick, he's not. A number of players on both teams have told me in the past few days that they actually voted for Pierre on the players' ballot for the All-Star team. And he's a guy that the National League officials right now are discussing and saying, hey, it's a possibility. Joe Torre thinks it would be a terrific idea to include Pierre on the final man ballot. That way fans could vote for him as perhaps the 33rd and final player for the National League team. This is one of the most respected players in the game. Players revere him. Fans like him as well.
There's no question Ken came into this game 9th in the National League in hitting at .324 and 2nd in stolen bases with 22. And, you know, that is not as a full-time player throughout and a professional.
Well, absolutely a professional. I think he filled 2 voids for the Dodgers. Not only did he replace Manny, but remember, Rafael Furcal was not playing that well. Pierre goes to the leadoff spot and scored runs for this Dodger ball club. I mean, you look at the 21 stolen bases, the .318 batting average. He created things for these Dodgers that they didn't have when he was sitting on the bench.
2 down and swung on and missed by Kemp. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Josh Geer in a 1-1 pitcher's duel, getting Blake and Loney on ground balls for the first 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Kemp lined out to Headley in left his last time. Down low, and it's 2-2.
Well, Gear, all kinds of movement. As a hitter, you want to make him get the ball up in the zone so it drops down the middle area. If he starts the ball low, it'll probably drop down to the dirt. You don't want to go after that.
2-2 pitch, and chasing it was Kemp, and he goes down. Strike 3. That is the first strikeout of the game for Josh Geer. His 2nd straight 1-2-3 inning. So the Dodgers and the Padres all knotted up at 1-1 as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Randy Wolf settling down, effectively retiring the Padres in order in the 4th. Faces the top of the order, Everett Cabrera. Cabrera takes a ball. Bounced out back to Wolf and sacrificed. So he's 0 for 1 officially. Breaking ball, hit line drive. Ramirez looking back and making the catch. One-handed catch at the base of the wall. So Cabrera with a line shot, and Manny stayed with it all the way, and Ramirez makes the catch, and there's one gone.
Well, this is really a nice catch. You watch Manny turns to his left, then turns back over his right shoulder, and still able to keep his eye on the ball. You know, and that's something as an outfielder, although it doesn't look graceful, he does catch it. But he turned 2 different ways, was able to stay balanced, makes the catch.
And how much does the 50-game suspension not being around affect you in the field?
Well, it does. It impacts you as far as timing. You're not seeing balls off of the bat. I mean, you can go into fielding slumps just as well as you can go into hitting slumps. People don't talk about that, but it's very easy to not be fluid out there, to get your timing messed up. Nice job there by Manny.
And as we all know, it sometimes has been an adventure for Manny Ramirez in left field.
Well, that didn't look out of the ordinary at all, right? Stumbling, bumbling, he catches it.
Eckstein fouls it back on the screen, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And the roaming Chris Rose, he's been all over today, now is at the park on the park beyond the fence in center field.
That's right, Dick. I'm out here with Tom Garfinkel, the CEO of the San Diego Padres. And Tom, this is a great place to be, obviously, especially on like July 4th, right?
Yeah, first of all, I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July, and all of our military members overseas especially. But this is a special park. It's a uniquely San Diego experience here at Petco Park, what we've done with the park. And John Moore's courage and vision to create all this around here was really should be applauded, because San Diegans have something really unique here to enjoy.
You play on the beach down there?
No, but my kids do. And
now, you make snow angels in the beach, don't you? Admit it.
Once, only once. But I also, my kids just love the miniature field over here, and the kids just have a great time out here.
You've had a swarm of media around here because of Manny Ramirez, but on Thursday you had 1,500 swarming bees. You didn't take any with you that day.
No, fortunately no bees today, but we were lucky that everybody approached it safety first and stopped the game and handled the bees and took care of it.
Very good. All right, Dick, back to you. I'm going to hang out here and get more sun. That's all I need to do is sweat a little more.
Hang out with the beekeeper in case the swarm comes back. Thank you, Chris. And Adrian Gonzalez, who has reached on an error and singled. Count 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 down here in the 5th inning. 1-1 the score. Randy Wolf settling down and misses here, and it's 2-1.
Well, again, we talked about at the top of the show. This is a 2-1 count. It's a 1-1 ball game. No reason to give Gonzalez anything good to hit. And if you're going to throw a pitch, throw it a couple inches off the plate, hope that he goes for it. If he doesn't, it's 3-1. You end up walking him. You go after the next hitter.
Down low, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Once again, a reminder that the Major League All-Star Game, the 80th Major League Baseball Midsummer Classic, comes your way exclusively on Fox Tuesday night, July 14th. And coverage will begin with the Pepsi All-Star pregame show at 8 p.m. on Fox. Swung on and missed, and the count now is full to Gonzalez. And it's going to be a special All-Star game. The pregame show will include player introductions, always special. And the ceremony honoring the 30 People All-Stars, and President Obama will throw out the first pitch. He will be the 4th president ever to throw out the first pitch at an All-Star game. And Gonzalez strikes out. 7 strikeouts for Randy Wolf. Another 1-2-3 inning. Through 5 innings, the Dodgers and the Padres knotted up at 1-1. Young and old alike here at San Diego is a blossoming Dodger fan in the crowd as Juan Castro fouls off the first pitch. So what a great day. It's July the 4th. Plenty of time to enjoy concessions or barbecue at the ballpark. San Diego can go to the beach even later on as Castro hits it out to right field. Tony Gwynn going back on the warning track and makes the catch for out number 1. Josh Gear, what a performance, Eric Karros. He has faced just 1 over the minimum through the first 5 in the 3rd innings today.
Well, he's been great. He's kept the Dodger hitters off balance. The defense has played extremely well behind him. You've seen Cabrera make some plays, Eckstein as well. Again, the Dodgers just haven't been able to muster anything, just the 1 home run, Manny Ramirez.
Here's Randy Wolf, and he was out on an unusual double play as he tried to sacrifice, and the bunt right in front of the plate was handled by Alfonso, who fired to Cabrera, made a great play for the force, and then over to Eckstein, the second baseman, for the double play. A 2-6-4 DP. There's the 1-1 to Wolf, and ground ball right to Gonzalez at first. And there are 2 down. So Chris Rose, we got you, Chris. Park on the park. Let's go back to you.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Dick, it's pretty cool out here. They've got this enormous screen that you can watch the game on. You got the whole, I don't know, you can at least see the park, Petco Park there. You've got a little area where the kids can play. They can just kind of hang out. You can bring your family, which is something I've done today. It's not bad out here. I got to tell you, it's a great way to celebrate America's birthday.
Yeah, you know what's awesome
right.
is I
can even show this guy without any sleeves on.
Well, you know
cool.
what's better is I'm looking out there and I see there's one guy out there in a coat and tie and slacks laying on the grass. I mean, that's
that was
great.
your call, Karros. That was your call to go coat and tie today. All right? I would have been happy wearing a collared shirt. You know that.
Chris, it is July the 4th.
I know. I know. We're lucky we're not in St. Louis today. It'd be 103 and smoking.
72 degrees when we started the game. Rafael Furcal 0 for 2. And the count 1-0 to Furcal. 4 for 5 last night. The first 4-hit game of the season for Furcal. And there you see the fans decked out in the red, white, and blue top hats, what have you, towels. What a great way to spend the holiday.
Well, I'll tell you, I had an opportunity to come to the game last night with my family. I sat in the stands, and this really is a great place to watch a ball game. We had Tom Garfinkel on, the Padres management, talking about the park at the park, but just really inside here to come out, watch a game, and you got the sand trap out there. You could bury your brother or sister right there.
Just up to the neck, maybe. As count 3 balls.
Guys, come here. That's great. Here, guys, come here. Come here.
Manny Ramirez, of course, unaware that a fan is being buried with sand, and there's a base hit by Furcal slapped into left field. So a 2-out single, and then I can hear in the background Chris Rose is drumming up something interesting here for this fan, and a lot of sand over him. So
hey, you want to go to a baseball game today? Sure.
It's
nobody told me I was getting buried in sand, though.
It's a day at the beach.
There you go.
2-out single and Russell Martin. So 11 men set down in a row by Gear before that base hit by Furcal. So it's a 1-1 game and 2 outs. And let's see how Joe Torre plays it. Manny Ramirez is the on-deck batter.
Well, this is a situation where I'd run Furcal here, because if he does get thrown out, then you have Martin leading off the next inning ahead of Ramirez.
A line shot, base hit into the left field corner, rounding second, heading for third is Furcal. The throw comes into second, and holding Russell Martin to a single. Runners at first and third, 2 out, and here comes Manny Ramirez with 2 runners on base. And welcome all, including our viewers in Philadelphia, to San Diego. Dick Stockton and Eric Karros and Manny Ramirez coming up with runners at first and third and 2 out. And a conference at the mound. There were 2 out when Furcal and Martin collected back-to-back singles to left field. And here comes Manny Ramirez, who homered in the first inning. His first hit, and here's how that went.
Well, Josh Gere leaving a fastball up in the zone, and Manny Ramirez getting a hold of it, driving it into the seats for his first home run since he's been back. You know, this is interesting, though. You got runners on first and third, Manny up at the plate. You do have a base open, and that second base is open. And, you know, we talked to Bud Black prior to the game. Interesting about, you know, what is your approach to Manny? Do you walk him? Do you treat him like Manny, one of the greatest right-handed hitters, or do you treat him as Manny been out for the last, you know, month and a half, almost 2 months?
Keep in mind, Andre Ethier, a left-handed batter, who, by the way, has been real at the top of the list as far as walk-off hits as of late. Has had 4 this year. Would be next. So here is Manny Ramirez, who hit the home run as you saw, and then robbed of a base hit on a sharply hit ball by Everett Cabrera at shortstop. First pitch, goes after it and lifts it high in the air toward the line in right field. Tony Gwynn watches it go out of play.
Well, I'm not so sure that's the location that Josh Gere, or for that matter, manager Bud Black wanted to see. I mean, Alfonso set up outside, low and away. Probably an at-bat where, look, go ahead and go after him, but don't give him anything good to hit. That thing was right down the middle, man. He just a bit late.
Manny's homer with 2 out in the first inning gave the Dodgers a 1-0 lead, and then the Padres tied it up with a run in the third on an RBI single by David Eckstein. So here we are in the 6th, 1-1 the score, and 0-1 to Manny Ramirez. Two and one. And it has been said that the man who will benefit the most by Manny coming back into the lineup will be Ethier, who has been able to hit the long ball but has not hit for average. One and one to Manny. Many Dodger fans in the crowd, and Josh Gere. And a sharply hit ball. Cabrera bobbles it, and the play at second in time for the force. Cabrera stuck with it, barely got Russell Morton at second to end the inning, and that will do it. The third out of the inning, and the game remains 1-1. Lomax replay.
Real easy for today. Manny Ramirez, his first home run and his first at-bat since he's come back. Head on the ball right there. Back elbow tuck. Good extension. That's our Flomax play of the day.
And that gave the Dodgers a 1-0 lead and hit the ball sharply his next time's up. And Juan Pierre has gone in to replace Manny Ramirez in left field as he did last night. As Joe Torre telling us that he did not play a full 9 innings in his 5 rehab appearances in the minor leagues. And there you see in the Dodger dugout that Pierre has gone in to play left field. And we have talked about, and Ken Rosenthal touched upon Juan Pierre and the fact that he won't be an invisible man, as he likes to joke about himself, because the other outfielders, when Manny is ready to play all the time, will get a game off a week. And so Pierre will see action mostly in center field.
Yeah, he will get some opportunities to play, but it's still not the everyday opportunity that he was afforded when Manny was gone.
No. Scott Hairston, who flied out and was called out on strikes, facing Randy Wolf. And the 1-0 pitch is popped up. James Loney making the play, and they're 1 away. Once again, here is today's Gillette trivia question. Who are the only 3 players to have 4 or more All-Star Game home runs in their career? And the answer: Stan Musial, Ted Williams, and Fred Lynn. Musial 6, Ted Williams 4, and Fred Lynn with 4.
All 3 of those guys left-handed hitters too, huh?
Mm-hmm. Breaking ball, Kuzminoff fouls it off for a strike. 1 out here in the 6th inning. And there's a youngster taking part. Looks like a lot of food on the ground there, and under the shade of a nice little hat that's keeping him away from the hot sun. 0-1 pitch outside, and the count 1-1. Beautiful 4th of July in San Diego, and wherever you are, hope you're having a great 4th of July. Line shot foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kuzminoff, who struck out and was hit by a pitch. And there's a souvenir for a youngster. He came prepared with either a jacket or a blanket. Randy Wolf with his 91st pitch of the game, and a fastball fouled away. 1-2.
Well, you mentioned the 91st pitch of the game, and you know we've played 5 completed innings, and 5.5, I should say. But the Dodgers starters, if there's one thing that may be a bit of concern, it's the inability for the Dodgers starters to go deep into games, to give them innings, because what that does is that taxes the bullpen.
Lays off the fastball high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So.
And the bullpen has been great. The pitching staff, numerically, everything has been great. When you start to get into August and September, those innings pile up on you.
Ken Rosenthal, your thought?
Eric, you are absolutely right. The Dodgers rank only 11th in the National League in innings per start, and that's not nearly good enough. Chad Billingsley really is their only guy who goes deep into games, though Hiroki Kuroda is starting to get stronger. This is why the Dodgers are looking for a starting pitcher as we speak.
Pop-up Kuzminoff handled by Loney at first, and there are 2 down. But in talking with Rick Honeycutt, you're right about that, guys. And the fact is that they have a lot of young pitchers who have pitched a lot of innings.
Well, they do, and they have pitched a lot of innings. And, do you go out and get another starter just for the sake of getting a starter? I mean, it only makes sense if, I'm running a club. I've got to get an impact guy. I don't need another 4th or 5th guy. And where you can also do is you can bolster the bullpen. You can get another arm. Maybe that strengthens this pitching staff. But again, they've done a great job. You're just trying to prepare for the end of the season and a postseason run.
Chase Headley fouls it away. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 out here in the 6th inning. Eric Milton is the 5th starter listed for the Dodgers. They haven't really needed him, so they're going with a 4-man rotation, and probably won't need him until they play the Milwaukee Brewers on July 11th, but he'll be working out of the bullpen in the meantime.
Yeah, for me, the big guy is going to be Kuroda. Can he pitch like he did the final 2 months of the season last year. He was dominant in the postseason. You know, last night he had a start. He only went 5 1/3. There's Kuroda, and this is after being afforded a 6-run lead. And that's something that, again, if they're having this issue in another month or so, Ned Colletti's going to have to go out and do something.
And, of course, the Dodgers are looking not so much the division, of course. They have the lead of 7.5 over San Francisco, but they've got to keep their eyes of trying to get, you know, last year they didn't get past the Phillies. They got past the Cubs, getting to the World Series. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Headley. And he strikes out 1, 2, 3 innings. So 10 in a row set down by Randy Wolf. Will return after a break from your local Fox station. Ball presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. July 4th in San Diego. Dick Stockton, Eric Karros, Ken Rosenthal, Chris Rose, all with us in a 1-1 game on this Saturday holiday. And Andre Ethier leading off and swings and misses for strike 1. He's 0 for 2 today. 1-1 the score. The Dodgers have out-hit the Padres 5-4, and the Dodgers have committed the only error in the game. Ethier will be followed by Casey Blake and James Loney against Josh Gear. Good performance so far by Gear as Ethier fouls it off to make it 0-2. The only victory for Gear this season was back on May 23rd when he beat the Cubs. Came in with a 1-3 record and a 5.68 earned run average. Just missing outside, and it's 1-2.
Well, he has done a nice job today, but you also have to credit this Padre defense. Cabrera at short has made some great plays. Alfonso behind the plate started to double play. Eckstein as well at second base.
And a ground ball hit to the right side. Eckstein making the play, 1 out. Well, Chris Rose is all over the place, and right now he's mentioned he brought his family. Well, his son Josh is with him now atop the Western Metal Supply Company, which is one of the great features of the ballpark. There you are, Chris.
Yeah, that's right. We are 8 stories up. You know, you can get parties up here for 250 people. They sell individual tickets. All you can eat the first hour, so bring your appetite, or Kobayashi as well. It's a great scene up here. I mean, you actually get a great view of the baseball game. Is this a cool view up here? Yes or no? Say yes or no. Is this a cool view?
Yes.
See? He'll hook you up. 8-year-old on cue.
All you can eat in 1 hour? I mean,
yeah,
that's
first
not great.
hour.
That's not great for your digestive
Now
deal,
I'm not getting into health facts. Karos is into that stuff. Let him break it down physiologically.
Here's Casey Blake, 1 for 2, singled, and was erased on a double play. All you can eat.
I like it because they put the warehouse in play. So I think that's kind of cool what they've done with the newer stadiums, trying to keep some of the old architecture around. They obviously refurbished the place, but I think it's great that this thing's 100 years old, 1909.
Well, this is really an interesting ballpark downtown with all of the office buildings to the right, and you talk about the great old 1909 Western Metal Supply Company, and down the right field line they have that little indenture, the nook and cranny, which we'll show you at some point. There it is, and you know, the park's now taking on a lot more personality than they used to as Blake fouls it off. The count is 3-2. Camden Yards in Baltimore was 1, and of course in San Francisco, the great ballpark there with the bay out in right field. So personalities abound in parks in the major leagues. Foul at the plate.
Well, I think we're going through phases. I mean, you talk about, you know, back in the 40s and 50s, you know, each park was unique in the way it was structured, the dimensions, and then you got into the 70s and you had those artificial surface places, the round stadium, the domes, and everything looked the same. And you know, now you've got back to that era where, you know, everybody has their own unique traits.
You had Riverfront Stadium, Three Rivers Stadium, Veterans Stadium,
the
all looked alike.
Yeah, I mean, all of it. Just that.
In many ways, old Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And there's a shot up the middle and a base hit by Casey Blake. Good at bat by Blake as he collects his second hit of the game. And here is today's Taco Bell bringing the heat pitching comparison.
Well, you look at that, Randy Wolf with the velocities, been around the same all game long. Josh Gere, you see he hit 92. That is uncharacteristic. You know, in fact, I'm going to say right now that was probably Randy Wolf hitting the 90s. Josh Gere, you know, he's about in the 80s, a lot of movement. But both of these guys have been able to keep the hitters off balance.
Good pitching job today, and James Loney with an opportunity here, and the Dodgers with the go-ahead run at first with 1 out. Loney is 0 for 2, bounced into a double play and grounded to second. Quick toss to first. Blake did not have much of a lead. Greg Burke, right-hander, has gotten up in the San Diego bullpen. 1-1 the score here in the top of inning number 7. Dodgers getting their run on a Manny Ramirez home run in the first. Padres tying it in the third on a David Eckstein single. And again, paying a lot of attention to Blake, who, you know, in Joe Torre's way of thinking, want to get something going here, especially on the road, to get a runner in scoring position. Matt Kemp, the on-deck hitter. Blake does not go, and the pitch missing outside.
Well, remember in the second inning, Dick, a hit and run. This is what Joe Torre employed with Loney at the plate. Ended up hitting into a unique double play, line shot off of the pitcher's glove to Cabrera, made a nice play, threw it to first. But you're right, though, you got to make something happen right now.
And especially when you're the visiting team, and there's a pitch right in there for the strike. 1-1. We talk about that double play. There was an opportunity for the Dodgers to tack on that early run on Ramirez's home run, and it was deflected off of Josh Gere, but Cabrera was heading to second to cover against the base runner and the steal possibility, and it was a made to order double play as it turned out. The 1-1 to Loney, foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Dodger first baseman.
You know, Loney having a nice year, the 50 RBIs, leading the ball club, and really, you know, epitomizes what this ball club has been all about. Not a lot of power this year, only 5 home runs from Loney, but able to get the clutch base hits.
And he has hit a lot better on the road than he has at home. About 3:15 on the road, less than 250 at home. Blake with the lead at first, the 1-2 pitch, and a base hit to center field. Blake will round second, going to third. The throw from Hairston will come into second base. And so the Dodgers have runners at first and third and one out, and a big opportunity for Matt Kemp. And right now, as Kemp comes to the plate, here is the Hyundai in-game box score for the Dodgers.
Well, not a lot of production for the Los Angeles Dodgers. A few singles. You mix in that home run that is not there that Manny Ramirez hit. He's out of the game. Juan Pierre in there instead. But again, you look at the singles, a single. Not an extra base hitting team.
And Manny Ramirez was 1 for 3 while he was in there. Relief pitcher coming in. We'll be back. And worked 2 innings for the first time this year on Thursday against the Houston Astros. Comes in with a 3.68 earned run average and 6 holds on the year. The Padres also making another switch as Kyle Blanks now in the game in left field, replacing Chase Headley. There's Blanks.
Well, obviously Burke coming in trying to induce the double play, get the ball on the ground, wants to keep Matt Kemp from elevating it so he can drive in Blake on what would be a sacrifice fly. Burke, a good hard thrower with movement.
26-year-old from Camden, New Jersey, a rookie, called up on May 15th from AAA Portland, and facing Matt Kemp, who is 0 for 2. And the ball getting away from Alfonso, and the run is going to come in. Casey Blake comes around with the run, and going to second base is James Loney. And the Dodgers lead 2-1 on the wild pitch thrown by Greg Burke on the first pitch to Matt Kemp.
Well, he tries to throw a slider, and he just cuts it off, doesn't extend his arm, and doesn't give Alfonso any type of chance of trying to keep that in front of him. The Dodgers score without having to drive him in through a base hit.
And they're going to walk Kemp with first base open and pitch to Juan Castro. So some people say it's a thin line between the teams that are doing really well and the teams that are struggling. And this is an example of how the teams that are having their problems, like the Padres are right now, cannot stay in a tight game. It's only 2-1, but the Dodgers obviously with an edge here.
Well, I think it's a difference of having experience versus inexperience. Here you've got a young guy coming into a situation where runners on first and third. Hey, I'm at the big league level. I'm pressing a little bit, trying to prove I belong. And, he's had success at this level, but again, it's, just a year long. And it's something that thinking too much and then unable to perform and squeezes the ball a bit too tight.
So runners now at first and second. So Loney is at second and Matt Kemp walked intentionally is at first. And here's Juan Castro, who making his only his third start at second base this year for the Dodgers. His 19th start overall, 1 for 2 with a single. Ronald Belisario is now getting up and throwing in the Dodger bullpen. So runners at first and second with 1 out, 1 run in. The Dodgers leading here in the 7th inning, 2-1. And the pitch in for the strike. Randy Wolf still swinging the bat in the on-deck circle with 1 out. Belisario warming up. But if Joe Torre has an opportunity here to tack on some more runs, you'll see a pinch hitter coming up. No balls and a strike to Castro. Check swing. And it's 1-1.
Well, you can see right now what Burke's trying to do. He tried it with Matt Kemp. The first pitch, the slider away. With Castro, he's thrown 2 breaking pitches on the outer half of the plate. As a hitter right now, you've got to think about shooting the ball to right center. Because even if he throws that pitch, it's going to bear in on your hands. Because of the movement, you want to think right center. You keep your hands inside and shoot the ball out to right field.
Greg Burke in relief of Josh Gear, who worked 6 1/3 innings. 2 runners with their leads and chasing that pitch, and no question that Burke keeping the ball low and away from Castro, ahead on the count, 1-2.
Well, as a hitter, you've got to go up there and understand what Burke is trying to do. You see Mark Loretta, who would probably pinch hit for Randy Wolf if Joe Torre decides to remove Wolf. But as a hitter, you've got to understand what the pitcher's trying to do to you, and he's trying to induce a ground ball. How do you get a ground ball? Throw it low and away.
Checking Loney at second, the 1-2 pitch in the dirt, and a good stop by Alfonso there. Already a wild pitch, resulting in a Dodger run after Ethier was retired on a ground ball. Blake singled. Loney got a base hit. And with runners at first and third, as Blake took third on Loney's single, a wild pitch got the Dodgers their second run. And that's where we are, 2-1 here in the top of the 7th. Dodgers trying to make it 2 in a row and 9 out of 12 over San Diego in their season-long battle. Burke's 2-1. And now it's 3. No, it's a call strike. Late call by Larry Vanover, and he's out of there. So Castro is out on strikes, and we're going to have a pinch hitter as Mark Loretta will indeed come up and bat for Randy Wolf. So there is Loretta. By the way, James Loney wearing a microphone for us today. So let's listen.
Come on, man. You know my blazing speed. Huh? My blazing speed.
Who?
Me.
What are you talking about?
Me.
You're talking about speed?
There's only 2 people, me and you, talking about me.
You know, if you run like me, you'll be in the Hall of Fame right now.
Mariano Duncan, a great sense of humor there when he was on first base. So now Loney with the lead at second, and Mark Loretta, who is 9 for 31 as a pinch hitter, batting for Randy Wolf with runners at first and second and 2 down here in the 7th inning. Big opportunity for Loretta, who played 3 years with the Padres, 2003 through 2005, and much traveled infielder as he takes ball 1 or strike 1.
Well, Loretta makes his home now in San Diego. Gets to be in his own bed here for the couple of days. But, you know, he's been one of the key acquisitions for Ned Colletti this offseason. See Randy Wolf putting in a solid day's work. Loretta's been able to give some of the guys days off, come in and pinch hitting situations like this.
0-1 pitch. Chopped to shortstop, and Cabrera gets the force to end it, but not before the Dodgers get the go-ahead run on a wild pitch. And it's 2-1 Dodgers in the middle of the 7th. And right now, we send it over to Padres public address announcer Frank Anthony.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Before we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" here on our country's Independence Day, please stand and welcome second-class Petty Officer Mike Gallagher of the U.S. Coast Guard. Please sing along as Petty Officer Gallagher presents "God Bless America."
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, through the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Petty Officer Gallagher.
By Pepsi, every generation refreshes the world. And sponsored by AT&T, your world delivered. And by Touch of Gray, the best of both. Gets rid of some gray, never all. And the red, white, and blue flags unfurled on Independence Day, a stirring rendition of God Bless America. And the Padres coming up in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the new pitcher is Ronald Belisario, and his first pitch to Alfonso is a ball, 1-0 the count. Eliezer Alfonso, who came in for Henry Blanco, who suffered a strained hamstring back in the 2nd inning. 2 balls and no strikes to the Padres catcher.
Well, you talk about Belisario entering into the game. He's one of the key reasons the Dodgers have been so successful this year. He and Ramon Troncoso have really steadied this bullpen.
And there's a 3-0 count now, and the tying run trying to get aboard there, and you're looking at a bullpen as Belisario falls behind 3-0, and this is the 42nd appearance by Belisario, who leads the team, second among the Dodger relievers with 47 2/3 innings of work. In for the call strike, and it's 3-1. The Dodgers bullpen, you talked about the starters going deep, have hurled 18 2/3 straight innings without giving up a run. But the bottom third of the order, and Kyle Blanks will be hitting third for San Diego, but ball 4, Alfonso draws a walk, tying run aboard. And 1 on and nobody out. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, presents the June nominees for the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award presented by Pepsi. And here they are: Josh Beckett, Andre Ethier of the Dodgers playing today, and Prince Fielder of the Milwaukee Brewers. Derek Lee, Tim Lincecum of the Giants, and B.J. Upton. So vote for the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month today at PepsiClutch.mlb.com. Dodgers lead 2-1. Runner at first, nobody out, and Tony Gwynn the batter. And the fastball was in for a strike. Blake playing a couple of feet in at third base and wide of the bag. Loney holding on the runner Alfonso. Check swing. Did not go around, according to Charlie Relaford. It's 1-1. Padres trying to come back and tie, trailing 2-1. They were down 1-0 on a Manny Ramirez homer in the first and managed to tie the score in the third. And there's a ground ball, base hit to right field, and running on the pitch was Alfonso, who'll go to third base as the throw comes in the second, and with nobody out, Padres have runners at first and third. Tony Gwynn with the base hit, and that's the 5th hit of the game for San Diego.
Well, a perfectly executed hit and run. Tony Gwynn Jr. pulling the ball through the right side of the infield. See Alfonso going on the pitch right there. He easily gets into third base. That was a graceful slide right there, boy. Whew. Got to get the slip and slide out. Practice again. But first and third now. You got the big man up at the plate. Look at that. That looks
just
like,
the way they teach.
Yeah, I don't know where they teach that, though. Not in any baseball schools.
Well, here's Kyle Blanks. Batting in the number 9 slot, went in for Chase Headley in the double switch made by the Padres, and a bluff at first. Ken Rosenthal, what about the Dodger relief pitcher?
Dick, we talked earlier about their need for a starting pitcher, but frankly, their need for a late inning reliever is even greater. Ramon Troncoso and Ron Belisario rank 1-2 in the National League in innings pitched. They're inexperienced, neither is pitched in the postseason, and this is going to be an issue for this team sooner rather than later.
No question about it, Ken. You know, winning the division is one thing. It's not been a strong division, but then where do you go after that? And Kyle Blanks taking ball 1. So Blanks, a big guy, 6'6", 285 pounds. 22 years old, called up June the 19th, had 12 home runs at AAA, and was named San Diego's minor league player of the year last year as Rick Honeycutt quickly comes out to the mound. And here is the Hyundai in-game box score for the Padres, Eric Karros.
The Padres, they haven't done a lot offensively either today, just a few singles here and there. David Eckstein had the big base hit. Runners on first and third, drove them in. But again, not a lot of offense. It speaks to the pitching today that we've seen.
So introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. So after the conference at the mound, Belisario going to work on Kyle Blanks coming in. This is only his 32nd plate appearance since coming up, hitting 194. 3 runs batted in. Runners at first and third, nobody out. And the count goes to 2-0 on Blanks.
Well, if you're Belisario right now, you can't worry about the runner at third. You've got to say, look, we let him score to tie ball game, but you don't want to compound things and make this a big inning. If you can get an out or two and the runner's still stranded at third, then you worry about shutting him out for the inning.
Here's the 2-0, and it hits him. And Kyle Blanks will trot down to first to load the bases. So Randy Wolf hit a batter, and now Ronald Belisario hits Kyle Blanks. So the bases are loaded, nobody out. And the phone is ringing out in the bullpen.
Well, you see Joe Torre wants somebody to go to the mound, maybe talk to Belisario or just give his guys an opportunity. Now he's calling for the play at the plate.
Troncoso getting up.
Yeah, but again, this is where that bullpen issue, the starters, because they don't go deep into the games, the bullpen has been called upon a number of times this year.
Everett Cabrera, the switch hitter, who is batting left-handed against the right-handed slants of Belisario, taking ball 1. So Ronald Belisario running into big-time trouble. Walked the leadoff hitter, Elazar Alfonso, to start things. And then Tony Gwynn delivered a base hit, and then a hit batsman. So a great chance for the Padres here.
Well, and you see everybody going to the mound. And it's not, it is one thing to try and calm Belisario, but it's really an opportunity to give Troncoso down in the bullpen an opportunity to get loose and get ready to enter the game if needed.
1-0 to Cabrera. Fouled off on the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. David Eckstein on deck. Veteran second baseman has driven in the only San Diego run. Alfonso the runner at third. Tony Gwynn at second. Kyle Blanks stationed at first. Belisario pitching to Cabrera. That's where we are as the Dodgers lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. The 1-1 misses. 2-1 now to Cabrera. Cabrera 0 for 2 with a sacrifice today and has had a sparkling day in the field. Randy Wolf started, worked 6 innings. And a shot to right field. It's a base hit. Alfonso will score. They're going to wave in Tony Gwynn. He'll come around as well. And the Padres have taken a 3-2 lead on a 2-run single by Everett Cabrera. And going to second base is Kyle Blanks. Still nobody out.
I'm not really sure what right fielder Andre Ethier was doing in this situation. Cabrera hits the ball to right field. Now the play is at the plate. Granted, Tony Gwynn Jr. is running. Andre Ethier, though, just gets it and throws it to shortstop Rafael Furcal. The big man, Kyle Blanks, who was on first base, all 6'6", 285 pounds, wasn't going to go to third. So it wasn't necessary to throw it to Furcal. Come up, try to make a good throw, get the runner at the plate.
And Ramon Troncoso is joined by left-hander Brent Leach in the bullpen. And Belisario struggling here. Here's David Eckstein, and there's the bunt. It's fielded, and the throw to third base in time. Alert play off the mound by Belisario to get the lead runner in Kyle Blanks for out number 1.
Well, nice play by Belisario, hustling after the ball. Casey Blake takes a few steps in. You watch this. Now his ability to get back and find the bag and then pick up the throw, very athletic. And again, we just talked about Blanks not being the fastest of guys, easily thrown out at third base.
Cabrera thrown out, and runners now at first and second with 1 away. And here's Gonzalez. 2 runs in for the Padres. They lead 3-2, and a big opportunity for the big slugger. And grounds it foul and actually hits third base coach Glenn Hoffman.
See, Hoff not as quick as he used to be. That's a former Dodger manager, Glenn Hoffman, older brother of closer Trevor Hoffman, who for so many years shut down games as a Padre, now with the Brewers.
So Gonzalez, 1 for 2, has also reached on an error, fouls off the fastball. And now Belisario is ahead of Adrian Gonzalez. No balls, 2 strikes. Gonzalez with 24 home runs and 50 runs batted in. Second in home runs in what is really a pitcher's park here in San Diego. But barely hitting above 200 with runners in scoring position. That's the other side of the coin. 1-2 now to Gonzalez.
Well, I think one of the factors in that, it doesn't have a lot of guys hitting around him. So when guys do get on base, first and second, he's up at the plate. He's trying to make something happen, and sometimes goes out of his zone. If he has other guys behind him to protect him, they have to throw him strikes. He could drive the ball.
Foul ball out of play to the left side, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. It all started with a walk as Ronald Belisario, in relief of Randy Wolf, who worked 6 innings, gave up a run on 4 hits. There is the Dodger bullpen with Leach and Troncoso. And Joe Torre, if you can say, on this July 4th, sweating it out here in a tight game against San Diego. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Runners at first and second and 1 out. In tight, 2-2.
Well, you talk about sweating it out. I mean, they're behind right now. Up on the scoreboard, the Giants are beating the Astros 8-0, and this is after scoring 13 runs, I think, last night. They start getting some offense over there in San Francisco. You couple that with their pitching, make for a great second half race.
Giants, as we said, with the second best record in the National League. And there's a line drive, left center field. It's a base hit. Here comes 1 run, and they're going to hold the runner at third. Eckstein held at third. Cabrera comes along with the base scoring of the run, and it is now a 4-2 game in favor of San Diego. For Gonzalez, his second hit of the game and his 51st run batted in.
Well, he didn't hit it real hard, and that's the second time today, but he does go with it. This one off the end of the bat. Loops the ball into left field.
And that's going to be all for Belisario. As the throw comes in, so Gonzalez finally delivers with runners in scoring position. We'll be back. Pitching change for the Dodgers, but right now it's time for the Smirnoff Ice game summary. The National League West standings right now, and coming in, the Dodgers with a 7.5 game lead over the Giants. And Eric telling us, of course, that the Giants winning, and Manny Ramirez with the home run, his first hit since coming back from his 50-game suspension. 534th home run in his career. The Dodgers had a 2-1 lead, but 3 runs in, and now Ramon Troncoso facing Scott Hairston, who takes a strike. Hairston 0 for 3. And it's been a big inning for the Padres, Eric, and it all started with the walk to start it off.
Walk, a few good at-bats. Cabrera having a great day today, both defensively and up at the plate.
The 0-1 pitch in tight. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cabrera with the 2-run single. And then Adrian Gonzalez following with a RBI base hit that drove Belisario from the game. The 1-1 and a ground ball foul. So everyone will go back. Giants leading 9-0, bottom of the 8th. Tim Lincecum has given up only 3 hits.
Yeah, I mean, you know, depending on when he starts, as far as the All-Star game, you know, he should be the guy that lead the National League.
And that would be his 5th day of rest. So we'll see. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And in tight, very nearly hitting Hairston. By the way, again, we want to remind you that the rosters, at least 32 of the 33 players, will be announced tomorrow. And then, of course, will be the internet vote by the fans, 1 for each league. And the All-Star game on Fox. Coverage will begin Tuesday night, July 14th at 8 p.m. with the Pepsi All-Star pregame show. The 2-2 to Hairston, and he strikes out for the 2nd out. So Troncoso gets a big man here, and runners remain at 1st and 3rd. So the All-Star game coming your way. It'll be the 80th All-Star game, and Fox Sports is the place to turn for complete coverage. Batting practice on foxsports.com at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. And then, of course, the pregame show, which will include player introductions, the ceremony honoring the 30 People All-Stars, and President Obama throwing out the first pitch. And throughout the game, you'll be able to ask a question and follow the answers as you watch the game on Twitter. So it should be an exciting night. And you'll be there.
I will. Can't wait to see some of the guys. You know, for me, Albert Pujols, again, I don't think people realize what he is doing right now, what he's accomplishing. I mean, it goes along with the greatest to ever have played the game. The Rude, Lou Gehrig, you know, those types of names, and he is right there with them.
Guzman off the batter. 0 for 2, hit by a pitch. Runners at 1st and 3rd, and a foul ball. And, of course, Chris Rose, as he ever gets down from that 8-story building out in left field, will also be in St. Louis.
I have rappelled safely, Nick.
Rappelled.
I used my Spider-Man suction cups that I got when I was a little kid, so I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry. And I'll be there in St. Louis. Karos, you and I are splitting up dugout duties, right? You get the NL, I get the AL. Is
Absolutely.
that how we're working this?
I want to know if you're going to be able to find an all-you-can-eat place there.
Don't worry.
In 1 hour.
If there's a place. Hey, if Heath Bell makes it, maybe he and I can have an eat-off. Maybe Bobby Jenks can get thrown in there, too.
Big Jonathan Broxton.
Hey, I'm telling you, we can build a great bullpen just based on eating alone.
What about Kyle Blanks? Now, I know he's not an experienced guy, but he's 285.
I don't know if he's going to make it out there. Maybe eating-wise. Need a few more ABs, though, not LBs.
We've seen those eating contests as of late, you know, for who can eat the most hot dogs or what have you, as Kuzmanov fouls it off. Will Venable is in the on-deck circle for the Padres. The pitcher spot is next when the Padres made the double switch, and Kyle Blanks replaced the left fielder Headley. He came in batting in the 9th position, so the pitcher's spot is next. But there's 2 down, 2 balls and 2 strikes, runners at first and third, 3 runs in for San Diego. And there's a ball slapped, gloved beautifully by Blake. He gets the force at second. Casey Blake saves a run, and that'll do it. But the Padres score 3 runs and lead 4-2 as we head to the 8th. Making his 37th appearance, worked an inning and gave up a hit. Pitched in the 9th inning and will be facing Rafael Furcal, Russell Martin, and Juan Pierre. And bluffing the bunt and taking inside for ball 1 is Furcal, who was 1 for 3 with a base hit. Will Venable replacing Tony Gwynn in right field for the Padres. Pitches inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Mojica, 25-year-old Venezuelan, facing Furcal. Mojica acquired from the Indians in a trade on April the 1st. The count now goes to 3-0 to the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, obviously not what the Padres wanted to see. And remember, this is how the Padres started their rally with Belisario. The Dodgers walking Eliezer Alfonso. Ended up scoring 3 runs last inning.
And the pitch, high ball 4, so Furcal is on. Now in those replacements by the Padres, Venable went to right field. Tony Gwynn moved to center, replacing Scott Hairston. So it's Blanks in left, Gwynn in center field, and Venable in right. So here's Russell Martin with Furcal on at first base. 1 for 3 with a hit. And a 4-2 score here in the top of the 8th inning. Mojica's first pitch is in for a strike. 1-1.
You know, interesting now that Manny Ramirez out of the ball game. He came out after the 6th inning. He would be on deck right now and would represent the tying run. Instead, you've got Juan Pierre.
Two balls and a strike. And a meeting at the mound after Foucault led off with a walk.
Well, and this is a situation, Alfonso, just going out trying to calm down, but he could also give the bullpen time to get loose. Again, the last thing you want, first and second. Pierre, although not the home run threat, can handle the bat, bunt guys over. But a much different dynamic. Juan Pierre batting third and Manny Ramirez batting third.
2 balls and a strike. Heath Bell, the Padres closer, begins to throw. And there's a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Russell Martin. And next Saturday, we want to remind you that the Yankees and Angels battle and the Cardinals and Cubs. 2 important games. Here is we play the final weekend prior to the All-Star game. There is Heath Bell, who also should be an All-Star. And there's a bounding ball, gloved at third base by Kuzminoff. Not in time at second, and everybody is safe. Very similar to the play by Blake that ended the bottom of the 7th for San Diego. This time Kuzminoff's throw to second, not in time.
Well, really a great job by Rafael Furcal. Good lead and then hustling down to second base. Kuzminoff makes a great play, but as you can see, Furcal easily beats the throw. Well, really a credit to Furcal. A lot of times when guys hit ground balls, the runners, sometimes they just naturally assume they'll be out. They're not going 110%. Furcal keeping the inning alive there as far as it possibly being very productive. Men on first and second.
Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, out to the mound, and here is Pierre. And just to underscore what you just pointed out about Manny, the fact that he's not really ready to play 9 innings, he would be the tying run at the plate with his home run power right now.
Yeah, Manny swinging the bat well today, hitting the ball hard on every at bat. He would be up right now. I mean, just the presence itself.
He'd be the go-ahead runner.
Go-ahead run, and just as we talked about, you know, at the beginning of the show, forget the production, just the fact of him going up to the plate, the fear that he would instill right now. Wow.
None out, runners at first and second in a 4-2 game, and they have to respect the bunt from Pierre, and there it is. Bunted, and it's a great one. And the throw to first base in time. The sacrifice by Pierre moves Furcal to third and Martin to second. And a good throw by Alfonso, pounced on it immediately.
Well, Juan Pierre again doing anything and everything that the Dodger organization has asked. Comes up, gets the bunt down. You said, Alfonso, a nice spinning play, throws a strike to Eckstein, but Juan Pierre, you just can't say enough about what he's done for this organization. Not only the way he's carried himself, but also from a production standpoint, been first class all the way.
And now here comes Bud Black out to the mound, and he's going to go with his closer, Heath Bell, right now with runners at second and third and 1 out. We'll be back after these messages. second to the Angels, Brian Fuentes, who has 23. And here he comes in facing Andre Ethier with runners at second and third. And one out, and Ethier coming in only 1 for 9 against Bell.
Yeah, Ethier coming up right now, too. First base is open, and as a hitter, you know that. So then you're wondering, is Bell going to kind of nibble? And then you also take into account you haven't had any success against Bell, and I guarantee Ethier knows that. So there's a lot going on in his head right now. At the end of the day, it's got to be see ball, hit ball.
And let's see what they're going to do with him. As Ethier will proceed Casey Blake. So here it is, the right-hander Heath Bell against the left-handed hitting Andre Ethier. Heath Bell, the 4th pitcher of the day for the Padres. First pitch in there for the strike. Bell really, I mean, everyone really wants to be an all-star, but Bell has really worn it on his sleeve. The 31-year-old who's in his 6th year, the 3rd year with the Padres. And the feeling is there's a good chance that he's going to get there. 0-1 pitch, slapped to the left side. Cabrera, the run will score, and they get the sure out at first base. So Ethier grounds out, gets an RBI as Furcal comes across. And holding at second is Russell Martin. It's now 4-3.
Well, Ethier, the ground ball is short. Martin doing a nice job of base running that ball in front of him. Takes a few steps, then realizes, look, I don't want to be an out at third base. Gets back to second base, where he is still in scoring position for the hitter, Casey Blake.
Casey Blake has faced Bell twice in his career. He's 0 for 2. Has 2 hits, though, in this game and 3 plate appearances. And a ball outside.
Well, see, now watch Russell Martin. See, he takes a few steps and he realizes, look, I am not going to get thrown out going to third base. Gets back to second, and as I said, a base hit right here. He scores. It's a tie ball game.
Padres leading the Dodgers 4-3 here in the 8th, and there's a called strike. And in case you're wondering, Heath Bell has gone 2 innings on 3 occasions this year, and none for a save. But the Padres have an opportunity to beat the Dodgers here. They were trailing 2-1 going into the bottom of the 7th inning, after the Dodgers got the go-ahead run on a wild pitch. And then the Padres scored 3 times in the bottom of the 7th. And as it turns out, for Randy Wolf, again, no decision, and he left with the Dodgers in front. 3-1 now. And James Loney would be on deck. Left-handed batter against the right-handed Bell.
But again, 3-1, you make a quality pitch right now. Much better to walk him and then get to start over with the next hitter rather than just groove one into the hitter at the plate.
Tying runners at second. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's popped up into short left field, and it's going to be Hairston coming over to make the catch for out number 3. The Dodgers get a run. They climb to within 1. We'll be back. by Catawet, by Hyundai. Now Hyundai Assurance can even lower your price at the pump. And by Smirnoff Ice. Please drink responsibly. And there is Randy Jones, who was the winning pitcher at the All-Star game in 1976.
Really?
And part of the great history of San Diego. You know, Jake Peavy's been hurt. Cy Young Award winner, and they hope to get him back. They're not sure when. Cy Young Award winner in 2007. Will Venable is the batter, up for the first time. Went in defensively last inning and fouls the pitch off from Ramon Troncoso, and the count now 0 balls and 2 strikes. And so the Padres really shifted around their outfield. They started the game with Headley, Hairston, and Gwynn. Now it's Hairston, Gwynn, and Venable. But the Padres at bat here in the bottom of the 8th with a 1-run lead and a strikeout. So Venable strikes out right now. Let's go to Chris Rose with a DirecTV game break. Chris?
Guys, all day we've been talking about Lou Gehrig's famous speech 70 years ago today. Well, up at Yankee Stadium, obviously they paid special tribute to that. And they were taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. And we will have that for you momentarily.
All right, Chris. Eliezer Alfonso came into play and in the second inning when Henry Blanco had to come out with a strained hamstring.
And here we go. Up at Yankee Stadium, Johnny Damon with a 2-run crank off of Roy Halladay, his 16th of the year. This thing would go 12, where the Yankees, another walk-off hit, their 8th this season. Jorge Posada with the honors. Yanks have won 9 of 10, just a game back of Boston in the AL East. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV.
Base hit to right field. Thank you, Chris. And we expect that's going to be that kind of a sardine-like rivalry all year between the Red Sox and the Yankees. So a 1-out single here in the 8th inning. And you will see the Yankees next Saturday, Hot Saturday baseball, as they take on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, looking forward to that game. Working again as you make your cross-country flight. Hardest working man in America.
Well, longest traveling man in America, maybe the better way to put it. Here's Tony Gwynn, throw to first base.
Larry. Hey, guys, you know, why don't you just let Dick stay at your house this week, Karos? I mean, you know, how about being a good booth buddy?
Great idea.
Yeah, I offered that, and he declined.
Wait. I must have been in the lunchroom when you made that bid.
I told him he had to watch the kids.
Like I said, I'll go back east and we'll see you next week. Just kidding. I met your son last night, and he's a darling. He really is.
Yeah, he's not the problem. It's Dad.
He's a
sloppy. He doesn't make good food. Won't take you out for ice cream, Dick. He won't do anything.
Be careful. You're with me in St. Louis, brother.
That's a good point.
Call strike. 0-1 to Gwynn, who was 1 for 3 with a single. Scored a run last inning when the Padres sent 8 men to the plate and scored 3 times. And in the dirt, good stop by Martin, preventing an advance by Alfonso. Randy Wolf started, worked 6 innings, and his 12th no decision in 18 starts. Now, the Dodgers, you pointed out earlier, had won 8 of those games. And the last 6, and they're down 4-3 in this game. Dodgers with single runs in the 1st, 7th, and 8th. Padres with a run in the 3rd and 3 big ones in the 7th. Runner at first, 1 out. Here's the 1-1 to Tony Gwynn, and a ground ball hit to Castro, who bobbles it, and everybody is safe. And what was earmarked as a 4-6-3 double play will turn out to be an error charged to Castro.
Well, and that has to do with the speed of Tony Gwynn Jr. Juan Castro trying to be quick with the transfer of the glove to the bare hand. Slips out of his glove, which you do not often see with him. He tries to get the ball and throw it. Tony Gwynn hustling the entire way, beats it easily.
And that is the 2nd error of the game for the Dodgers.
Well, and that's one of the things. They've played great defense all year. Couple that with the good pitching, and that's why they've got the best record in baseball. Juan Castro has spent his career in the big leagues known for his great defense. And as I said, you do not see that very often.
Well, here's Heath Bell with runners at first and second, and you would expect him to try to bunt. Cabrera up next, and there it is, and a great bunt fielded by Loney, getting it over to Castro covering. So Bell does his job. We'll see if it'll help his own cause ultimately, with runners now at second and third and 2 out. And right now we would like to announce the winners of the People All-Stars Among Us from these two cities. And here's who they are: Barbara Polias and Richard Nares from San Diego. Barbara Polias from Los Angeles, and Richard Nares. Be sure to see them and the other 28 winners who will be announced during the Pepsi All-Star pregame show on Fox, July the 14th. So runners now at second and third and 2 down, and here is Everett Cabrera. He got the big hit last inning, a 2-run single that put the Padres in front 3-2. They added another run, and the Dodgers came back with one themselves.
Well, he's really had a nice game today. I mean, at the plate, 2-run RBI. Had a sacrifice earlier in the game, led to a base hit. Eckstein run. You know, it's something that, again, they're doing all the little things, and defensively he's been awesome.
And there's a call strike. Ken Rosenthal.
Dick, you talked earlier about Heath Bell and wanting to make the All-Star team. Well, what he wants most is not only for him to make it, but also for his former teammate Trevor Hoffman to make it. However, there are a number of deserving National League closers: K-Rod, Jonathan Broxton, Houston Street, Francisco Cordero, right down the line. But both Bell and Hoffman are deserving.
They are, and of course the interesting thing, Ken, is that once they name the All-Star squads, you always have people say, this guy should have made it, this guy should have made it. They never say who should be off the All-Star
Right, that's
squad.
a great point. That's a great point.
You never hear that. Who would they replace would be the question. That's why, Ken, I'm not asking you who should make it from the closers. 2 balls and a strike to Cabrera. Runners at second and third, 2 down. As the Padres looking for at least an insurance run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Heath Bell will come out in the 9th against the Dodgers, and there is a slow hit, swinging bunt. The throw to first base, and it's thrown wildly. 2 runs are going to come across. Cabrera will round second and go to third, and the Padres get 2 more runs and lead it 6-3. A swinging bunt, and Blake trying to get it over to first baseman Loney, got away, and the Padres now are up by 3.
Well, Blake does all he can right now. The speedy Cabrera at the plate. Blake barehands it, and because he's a right-handed thrower, the ball is, well, obviously a right-handed thrower. He's going to go into foul territory. James Loney, as a left-handed catching first baseman, he has to come across his body and backhand it to make that catch. That's one of the few times where if you had a right-handed first baseman, he could catch that and apply the tag much easily.
And so it is 6-3 now, 2 runs in, and here's David Eckstein, who takes a call strike. So Cabrera's on the third. Here it is again.
Well, you see Cabrera hustling down. But see, Loney has to backhand it and try to hold the bag. You see him running the entire time. Gets down to third base.
And there's a base hit to right field, and another run comes in. Eckstein with his second RBI. And Cabrera comes across, and it is now 7-3. And it's a happy July 4th for San Diego fans as Joe Torre comes out to the mound. That last play, Cabrera got credit for an RBI single and an error charge to Blake. But a big inning, and the Padres breaking this one open in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be back. It's a Cops Marathon. That's 4 episodes of Cops starting tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox. And the 4th pitcher of the day for the Dodgers, Brent Leach, has come in as Ramon Troncoso leaves the game. It's 7-3, and 15 batters have come up in the last 2 innings for the Padres. And here's Adrian Gonzalez, who knocked in a run with a base hit last inning, and there's a curveball over for a strike.
Well, and against 2 pitchers, Belisario and Troncoso, 2 guys that have been very reliable. You look at Brent Leach's numbers right there. 15 strikeouts, only 8 walks. But again, can you blame it on the relievers? Or do you blame it on a situation where they've been constantly used up to this point? And again, we've still got half a season to go. And that's where the starters become that much more important as the season progresses.
Does Ken Rosenthal's comments about the Dodgers needing a starting pitcher and perhaps someone out of the bullpen as well? That's 2 you're talking about.
Well, you know, and I spoke to General Manager Ned Coletti yesterday, and you know, he said, look, it doesn't make any sense just to go out and get a serviceable guy in the starting rotation. Maybe I do go out and bolster the bullpen. But again, also, with Manny coming back, there should be more offense that should take some of the pressure off of the starting pitchers. They could get to go a few more innings. So there are a lot of variables that come into play. They'll be sorted out probably in the next month.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Adrian Gonzalez, who has 2 hits in 4 appearances and a big RBI last inning, as the Padres striking gold late, and there's a foul ball. San Diego scoring 3 runs last inning, and they have 3 already here in the 8th inning. And the 3 errors for the Dodgers to this inning represent a season's high. Dodgers coming in #1 in fielding. So you never know. So 2-2 the count, 7-3 San Diego leads, and another foul ball down the right side.
Well, again, things that uncharacteristic of this Dodgers ball club. Juan Castro making an error, Belisario or Troncoso getting hit. You know, again, you're not going to be perfect every day, and you know, this Dodger ball club has been the best all year long in all of Major League Baseball.
And they've been the model of consistency. You're looking at a team that has not lost 3 in a row. They've had a couple of opportunities, and they've thwarted that. They haven't lost 3 consecutive series in a row. Here's a ground ball slapped to Foucault, gets the force, and that'll do it. But the damage may have been done. The Padres get 3 more again and take a 7-3 lead into the 9th.
How's your dad doing? Is he? Tell him I said hello.
I like the call when he told me to move the chair and you said no, he didn't go.
You like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I started to send a guy down there to give you some popcorn or something. Thought you're at the movies.
And there you hear the sounds of home plate umpire Larry Vanover as he talked to Tony Gwynn. And then Brad Osmus at the end. And July 4th, tell you what, the fans having a blast here in San Diego, out on the lawn here, watching their Padres lead 7-3 as James Loney leads off. In the top of the 9th inning, Heath Bell. We've got the last 2 outs of the 8th inning. Facing Loney, who is 1 for 3 with a single. It'll be Matt Kemp and Juan Castro scheduled to hit third. Breaking ball low and inside, 2-0. And time is called. Padres with 7 runs on 10 hits, no errors. And the Dodgers 3 runs, 8 hits, and 3 errors. This from the top defensive team in baseball.
Well, and you're going to have days like this. I think important for the Dodgers, though, you mentioned it earlier, they're able to flush them away, get them the next day.
3-0 now to Loney. And remember, Heath Bell, with 3 occasions where he has worked more than in an inning and has not picked up a save. Three balls and no strikes to Loney. Ball 4, waited at the plate for a call. It was close, but Loney trots down to first base. And that will bring up Matt Kemp. So here comes Kemp, who is 2 for 5 with a home run against Heath Bell.
Well, you know, what's real important right now for the Dodgers, I mean, obviously you're still trying to win a ball game, but make Heath Bell work. Make him get his pitch count up, so maybe if you have to see him tomorrow, he's tired or he's unavailable. But you're not just playing for right now and today.
There goes the runner Loney, uncontested. And that would be defensive indifference. No stolen base. So Loney is on second, and the count 1 ball and no strike to Kemp. Here's the 1-0. Fastball for a strike. Heath Bell from Port St. Lucie, Florida. 33rd appearance, first year as a closer. Of course, you mentioned. So did Ken, the great Trevor Hoffman, now in Milwaukee. And a call strike, 1-2, acquired in a trade with the Mets in 2006. Pitched 3 years for the Mets. And has a background here in California. Grew up in Tustin, outside of Los Angeles. 1-2 to Kemp with a runner at second, nobody out. Out of play.
Matt Kemp doing a good job of fouling off that fastball. Again, if you're Heath Bell, because you have the 4-run lead, the last thing you want to do is throw a lot of pitches. Or put the ball over the plate, let your defense help you out.
Ready for the 1-2 to Kemp. Loney on at second. And up the middle, base hit to center field. Loney will come around and score to make it 7-4 now. And Kemp is on at first, so Kemp, who has had success, now 3 for 6 against Heath Bell. And for Kemp, his 44th RBI of the year. And it's a 7-4 game, still nobody out. Well, today's ceremonial first pitch was thrown out by Staff Sergeant Gabriel Guest. And he's part of the Welcome Back Veterans program. Join Major League Baseball in helping our returning veterans. Log on to MLB.com or welcomebackveterans.org for more information on how you can make a difference. And the first pitch to Juan Castro is a ball. Castro 1 for 3 with a single.
Remember, Castro unable to start a potential double play. Last inning ended up leading to a few runs for the Padres.
And the breaking pitch is down low, 2-0. Orlando Hudson is on deck for the Dodgers. Hudson has been mired in a major slump. In fact, he told anyone who would listen, I stink right now and I shouldn't be in the lineup. So he has no problem not starting, giving way to Castro at second base today. But the O-Dog is on deck. Nobody out. Runner at first. 7-4 the score, and a call strike to Castro. It's 2-1.
Well, and you see the velocity of Bell. You know, he's starting off at 94 when he first came in. Now that's at 89. Trying to aim the ball a little bit. But again, all working in the Dodgers' favor as he elevates the pitch count.
There's a call strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Heath Bell facing Juan Castro. Dodgers have a run in here in the top of the 9th inning. A walk to Loney. Advanced to second on defensive indifference. Came around on Matt Kemp's RBI single. Here's the 2-2 pitch. First to throw to first base to keep Kemp close. Kemp, by the way, has 19 stolen bases on the year. He's tied for 4th in the National League. But the Dodgers find themselves down by 3 runs and don't want to give up any easy outs here. And a fastball, strike 3. Castro goes down for out number 1. And Orlando Hudson will come up.
This pitch up in the zone. Castro unable to catch up with it. Probably a ball. Here you see Matt Kemp with the base hit up the middle earlier, scoring Russell Martin. Excuse me, James Loney. Kemp still out at first base.
And here's the switch hitting Orlando Hudson, hitting .289 with 5 home runs and 41 runs batted in. And the first pitch in there for a call strike. Hudson had a career high 17-game hitting streak in May, but has really tailed off in the month of June after 2 solid months to start the season.
Well, real instrumental in the success while Manny was gone. In May, went to that 3rd spot in the lineup.
And 0 for his last 20 as he takes the pitch for a ball 1-1. It was interesting the other night. Rafael Furcal got a pinch hit, base hit, and that may have turned him around. He got 4 hits last night and had a base hit today. Swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes to Hudson with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Padres lead 7-4. And Hudson looking to get on base to bring the tying run to the plate. And Furcal would be the on-deck hitter. There's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to him.
Well, that's tough. You know, Orlando Hudson getting a day off, really a mental day off because he has been struggling, and then is asked to go hit late in the game against one of the top closers in the game in really a situation that is pressure packed.
Call strike 3. The fastball will send Hudson down, and a big strikeout for Heath Bell, and there are 2 down for the Dodgers.
Yeah, this is a situation as a hitter. You know it's a strike. It's right down the middle, and you're just standing there, and you're just hoping that the umpire doesn't call it a strike. You're saying, please say balls, please say ball. And it seems like an eternity, that time where the ball hits the catcher's glove, and the umpire goes, strike 3.
So here comes Furcal. The switch hitter is 1 for 3 with a single and a walk, has scored a run. 2 down and strike 1. So bearing down is Heath Bell. And there goes the runner, and it's a call strike 2. So once again, The Dodgers sent Kemp, and he's on at second base. Loney also advanced, came around and scored. So the runner is at second. No balls and 2 strikes. And the fastball is up high.
And you wonder why are runners going to second base, stealing the base? Are they trying to score a run? Well, that's one thing. But really the main reason is so if a ball is hit to the shortstop or second baseman where they have to dive and they wouldn't have a play at first, that they couldn't just go the easy way out and get a force at second. Here you've got to get the out at first base.
One ball and 2 strikes. Dodgers down to their last strike here in the 9th inning. Fastball, strike 3, and the game is over. And Heath Bell strikes out the side after the Dodgers get a run with nobody out. Furcal goes down, and Heath Bell chalks up his 23rd save, leading the National League. And the San Diego Padres beat the Dodgers 7-4 with 3 runs in the 7th and 3 more in the 8th. And they